Loud enough. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. Good morning, everybody. We got to wake you up with a little rage. Yeah, there you go. Beautiful. All right, Phillies with another W last night. A walk-off victory with Bryce Harper with the single in the second base hole. Brings home a winning run. Very exciting way to win last night for the Phils. And, this is 3 in a row now. So they're feeling good about themselves. We will talk about that. We will also talk about many other subjects today. Including, we're going to venture into the world of rock and roll today. This is an announcement right after my own heart. Oasis reunion is coming up. We're going to talk about that a little later. We'll also talk some serious issues like, will the Sixers ever build that arena? There's a lot of information that's come out now on the study of whether it was feasible and a lot of opposition to it. Listen, I'm going to tell you, I hope it gets done. I want to know how many people, though, are on board with the Sixers arena. I'm on board, and here's why. Because I like progress. I'm a big progress man. I like things that are different. I like things that stand out, that make your city unique. And I believe that would make the city unique. I just can't stand the fact that people are bogged down. Well, it's going to be a lot of traffic, or oh my God, it's going to poach on people who live in the. Come on, man. Come on. You moved into the city. What did you expect? You were moving into some bucolic setting with ivy walls? This is the city here. All right. So I'm definitely on board with a new arena. I want to get people. This is our market survey. I want to get people, because you can go through these studies and the feasibility and all this and the costs and all the things, but I want to get down to the people who will actually have to go to the arena to watch the 76ers. There are 3 options. Progress, Camden, put it where all the stadiums are. Let's put it where all the stadiums are. That'll let us stand out. Yeah, I know Comcast has this feasibility study where they're gonna make a new town. They're gonna make a town down there. But I kind of like the idea of a new arena. Bill Colarulo is with me. Ray Dunn's. I'm gonna take an inventory right away. Bill, Sixers arena, you in?
I'm all in, man. I like change. I like things that are new. So I'm with you on this. I think it'd be great. But look, I also grew up going into Center City. It's not a big deal for me. There's a lot of these older people, say older, Ray. I'm only 41, but older people who are like, I can't go into Center City. It's dangerous. It's too dangerous, Ray.
I know. That's when you've been tucked away in the suburbs for a long time. That's the notion that people have. Oh, can't go into the city.
Yeah, I think it'd be great, man. I think it'd be awesome. And if you look at the research study, in addition to the 41 regular season games, you're also going to get 53 additional entertainment events, including 35 additional concerts. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah. Ray, you're a city dweller because you're a kid. So I'm assuming you don't have the old man attitude.
No.
Right?
No.
So we're all on board with it?
I would love to be able to walk to where
we're all on board with it. It's progress. But we're going to take inventory of the people today. I really need people to sound off on this whole thing, to give the Sixers and give the councilman Mark Squilla down there a little more feedback on whether the people are in favor of this. All they have now are numbers and projections, which the Sixers apparently inflated. But there's a big opposition from the people in Chinatown. So I just want to hear from others that may not want it down there or want it down there. Okay, so let's talk about Bryce Harper for a second, because we haven't really discussed this. It's never entered my mind to question Bryce Harper because I see a guy who's a baller. There's nothing that he can do that would take me away from really getting into criticism of Bryce Harper. Now, there are numbers that would make the average person criticize Bryce Harper. He was slashing 213, 262, and 390 since the All-Star break, hitting 213, on-base percentage 262, and OPS 390. That's terrible. Are there people out there that want to criticize Bryce Harper? Because I want to hear that too. I want to hear how you feel about Bryce Harper right now. He is, for my money, and I'm a very critical person, For my money, he is immune from criticism. He made a play last night down the first base line that saved the game.
Great play. Man.
Forget about the base hit. That play he made on a short hop is a tough play for anybody, especially one with a freaking first base mitt. You know, where that could go off the edge of a first base mitt. He snared it and ran to the bag to get it. He can't do anything wrong for me. I look at him, I go, you know, there's so few athletes in the city that you can go, baller. I'm sorry, I'm out. You know, he didn't run that ground ball. I don't care. He's baller. For my money, he's a baller. He's got immune from criticism for me for the rest of his career here. Am I too? Is that too much?
I think it's a little too much. Look, when I say it depends on what you mean by criticism. When the guy's not playing well, he should be called out for not playing well.
Yeah. Well, what indicates he's not playing well? That he's slumping with not hitting? Is that what you say? You're going to criticize? I've failed to criticize guys that aren't hitting if they're into bad habits. Like, I'll criticize guys that are into bad habits. Like, I would criticize Ryan Howard for always falling victim to the outside slider.
Yeah.
Right? I would criticize that. I can't find anything to criticize Bryce Harper. Last night on the postgame show, he actually misread his own at-bat. He said, the first thing he said on the postgame interview with Tom McCarthy and John Kruk was, I rolled over another one, meaning that was a breaking pitch that was on the outside part of the plate that he rolled over and got lucky that it went through the hole.
He was just being modest.
You're right. He smoked an inside sinker.
Smoked it.
Yeah. It was up and in, and he smoked it through the hole. So I don't know what he was talking about. He misread his own at-bat. But to me, I can't criticize him for those numbers, 213, 262, 390, because I know the guy prepares every day. I know the guy is obsessed with hitting, so I can't criticize him.
I guess it depends on what you mean by criticize, because I agree with you. I don't think it's from a lack of effort, but you look at the last 30 games, he's batting .223. Mm-hmm. He hasn't been hitting the ball very well. That's why we were starting to ask the question, was he hurt? That was a question that I asked you last week. Do you think there's something wrong with Bryce Harper? But I agree. When we talk about criticism, as long as you're given full effort, which I think Bryce Harper does every single night, the guy wants to win, then you don't really criticize. But
I've got this rule of thumb that I use. The rule of thumb is I can't criticize you for not hitting unless you're doing something to contribute to not hitting. Like, for instance, I'll look at Rojas and go, dude, first of all, your bat's too big, and you're lugging around a bat.
Yo, don't you dare, Mike.
What?
He's batting 300 since the All-Star break. Don't you dare come after Rojas.
I look at him, I go, you have the opposite way of hitting to make yourself successful. So I can criticize that. I can criticize a guy like Castellanos, even though he's hot right now, for always falling victim to the first pitch outside slider. Like, I look at that, I go, these are bad habits that I can criticize you for, right? Get it together, correct that habit. I can't find anything to criticize Bryce Harper about.
No, that's a good point. That is a good point. You know what surprised me? I saw something from Todd Zalecki. That's his first walk-off hit since 2020. Does that sound accurate?
We're used to walk-offs are different than clutch hits. Like, he's got a ton
of clutch
of big-time clutch hits where he's the hero. So that really doesn't do anything for me. But again, like, there are so few players that are immune to criticism.
Who else would you put there?
In my lifetime?
Yeah.
Like Reggie White. So I couldn't even criticize him for jaking it in practice, which everybody said he did. Like, he never practiced hard.
Practice?
Right. Now, if that carried over in the game, I'd have something to criticize. That guy was on fire every play. Right? So, he's one of them.
Brian Dawkins is one for me.
All right, Brian Dawkins.
Because it was all effort all the time.
Absolutely. This is going to sound funny, but I never criticized Eric Lindros.
Interesting.
Because he had effort. He was a locomotive.
I loved that
with the puck, right?
I was obsessed with that Flyers team.
Now off the, he got his parents involved, and that messed up the whole relationship with the organization. But as far as a player, to me was a guy who was immune from my criticism.
He played hard.
All right,
he definitely played hard.
I want people to think about players that may be immune from criticism. As we're talking about Bryce Harper, is he immune from criticism in your sports world? I want to hear from people. Here's how you get in. 610-632-0975. Back after this on the Mike Missanelli Show. 16, Mike Missanelli Show, 10 o'clock hour brought to you by Window Nation. Take advantage of Window Nation's 50% off sale on all style windows. Plus, make no down payment, no payments, and no interest for 12 full months. Just call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. All right, I've got two topics on the board here, and I need feedback, and I need it via telephone calls and also text and YouTube comments. How you get in is 610-632-0975. I believe that Bryce Harper is immune from criticism. He is one of a very few players that have played in this town that, to me, are immune from criticism. I know a lot of people out there think that nobody is immune from criticism. I look at the dynamic of the player, how he approaches the game, how he gives it his all, and that's how I give immunity. Now, we just named three people. A lot of people would not agree with Lindros. Flyer fans maybe not agree with Lindros. I don't think there's anybody that would not agree with Reggie White and Brian Dawkins. So we got three. Is there anybody else that you can think of?
Well, the YouTube chat threw somebody out.
Okay, what do you got?
They threw out Chase Utley should be immune from criticism.
Okay. All right. I can go with that. Although he let injury bog him down a lot. I don't know.
Played the game hard.
He did. All right, so Chase Utley.
That's coming from Matt Deckert on YouTube.
Yeah, I figured Chase would get.
But to your point about Bryce, I'm glad that you gave the reasoning as to why he should be immune from criticism. Because the problem I have sometimes with the Bryce Harper is immune from criticism narrative is there's a lot of people who won't criticize him simply because he panders to the fan base. So you're not saying that, which I agree with. It should be the way he approaches the game, not that he wears Fanatic cleats and a Fanatic headband. That bothers me, that people just like that he panders. So it's, you can't say anything about him. It should be the way he approaches the game.
Do you think he panders?
He panders worse than anybody.
He does? Do you think that's all contrived? You don't think he's in the spirit of the moment and enjoying his time as a Philadelphia Philly?
You don't think the water written on the tape, put on the jug at the home run derby, making sure the camera saw it, was a little bit contrived?
Oh, so you're gone that he doesn't do these things just because he feels happy about Philadelphia. He is intentionally trying to win votes? Is that what you're saying?
100%.
Really?
100%.
Ray, you feel that way?
Yeah.
You do?
He's trying to.
Really? So
I appreciate
it. So that turns you off?
No. Continue to pander to me. I know what's happening
in general
to me.
would turn me off. I don't know if he is a pander as much as he is enjoying the moment in Philadelphia.
Look, I like Bryce Harper. I don't want this to come off like I don't like him. I like him. I think he's a great baseball player. I don't mind the pandering because it is engaging for fans.
Yeah.
But it's not legit. It's not real. The guy is pandering for love.
All right.
And I'm okay with it.
Oh, I'm cool with it. Continue to pander to me.
Doesn't sound like you're okay with it, Bill. Does not sound like you're okay with it.
You seem a little bothered by it.
You are a little bothered.
If you search your feelings,
you're a little bothered by it. Like you're pandering today with your shirt.
Deep down.
He's pandering today, right? Look at his shirt.
What is he wearing?
It says made in Philly.
Stand up so people can see it. He's pandering, isn't he?
Made in Philly.
Made in Philly. It's a pander.
I was made in Philly.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it just a stone cold fact?
It's a pander.
It is. It's a stone cold fact. My parents made me in Philly, and I was born in Philly.
How do you know where they made you?
I know where they were living.
Could have been at the beach.
It could have been. Could have been down the shore.
After a night of bubbly.
Could have been down in the Wildwood, for all I know.
These are questions you can figure out in your own time.
In a Ford Fairlane or something.
Oh, Jesus. My parents listened to the show.
Hope you're enjoying the 10 o'clock hour.
All right, so you like my approach on why I like certain players.
Yeah.
I've had one conversation with Bryce Harper. And he came on the air when they first signed him. We were down in spring training. So it's not like I don't get close to players for a reason. Like I don't try to buddy them up.
Yeah.
You know? And so what you get from me is genuine feeling.
Yeah, you're not a jock sniffer, as they call it.
Right. Now, there was a story in today's Inquirer that would kind of like be the opposite of what I just said about James Bradbury, which we will get to in a minute. right? But, right, we have some text on the text board here. Let's see what we have. Arena text and Harper text.
Yeah, we got some people checking in on the arena. Eric from Virginia. I'll be 60 this year. Grew up taking the 10 trolley and the subway downtown from West Philly back in the day. Put the arena downtown. We got another follow-up here.
That's a guy who is experienced in taking trolleys and public transportation to get somewhere.
Yeah. We got an unnamed texter from New Jersey saying, yeah, it's a great idea. Let's ruin the people of Chinatown's lives again. It's 676 all over again. Let's displace them again. So someone not in favor.
Oh, I got to be. It's got to be explained to me how that we're displacing the people of Chinatown, because the study says that they would not be displacing. It specifically says they would not be displacing. We'll get over the planks of this whole thing in a second.
It talks about indirect displacement. Well, they're saying there will be no housing displacement by the building of the arena.
Right.
But they're talking about maybe gentrification will result in there being indirect displacement, and that there could be a loss of the cultural identity. I don't know if that's in the study.
Is Chinatown going to go away if this happens? Like, Chinatown thrives basically on business.
I think it'd be great for Chinatown.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I haven't had a meeting with the Chinatown organization on what they think bad would happen to Chinatown. But it seems to me, if you have a community that's built on business and leg traffic, this would help people pour into those restaurants and shops, right?
Hey, Dad, my dad just texted me.
What did he text?
You were made on Sartain Street.
Okay, there you go. Well, then you're made in Philly. Okay.
Glad we got that one cleared up for everyone at home. Everyone was sitting at home wondering, was he really made in Philly?
Your dad cannot pinpoint the date, however. So, let's go to more text. What do you have on Harper?
All right, Harper, we got someone agreeing with you here that you were absolutely correct in not criticizing him, and now that text has gone away. Where's Joe in Boston? All right.
Took the text away?
It was
okay.
It was there. There we go. Joe in Boston. I agree with Mike on Harper. He is beyond criticism. He has single-handedly brought baseball back to Philly. He's my number one sports athlete in Philly. The reason I lost the text is because he wanted to add that Bobby Clark should be immune from criticism.
Bobby Clark. It's going way back.
Not immune from criticism. You might think so. However, Bobby Clark also instigated a lot of fights that he never finished or participated in.
Now, I would say I never saw Bobby Clark play hockey.
I did. I covered him.
But I would criticize him as a general manager because going to your point of Eric Lindros, Bobby Clark helped ruin that situation.
Well, interesting that you bring that up. I don't want to come over. I don't have anything personal against Bobby Clark. He has something personal against me because I said that very thing on the air on Sports Talk Radio, that the Flyers would never win as long as he was the general manager.
Yeah, and they didn't.
And his family rallied against me.
The family did.
I will tell you the story in a second. But yes. But one thing I didn't like about Bobby Clark is that he would instigate fights and then he would hide behind Dave Schultz.
Well, that was why they brought in Dave Schultz, right? They wanted to protect their star.
That's a source of criticism for me. If you're going to instigate a fight, occasionally you'll have to drop it.
Yeah, because you
have to drop the gloves.
Because Gretzky always had protection, but Gretzky wasn't starting fights. Right? Is that the point you're making here, that Clark was starting fights?
Yeah, well, he was a chippy player. He was a nasty player. He
didn't break somebody's foot.
High sticker. He used to stick a lot, and
he was a big slasher.
But that's all my criticism. But I'll tell you the other story in a minute. We have T Love and Mike on hold. We'll get to you. 610-622-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues. 632-0975. Players that should be immune from criticism. Very interesting topic. Not many. I hate everybody. That's the thing about me is that I hate everybody. And so for me to accumulate a list like this is saying something.
Wait, so who's on your list so far? You had Harper and Lindros.
Harper, Lindros, Reggie White, Brian Dawkins, Chase Utley. That's 5 so far.
Now, Brian Dawkins would pander as well, but that's not why he was immune. Same thing with Bryce Harper. What I loved about Brian Dawkins is he would leave it all on the field, and it actually meant something to him. So I was
Are you talking about the Wolverine thing as a pander?
Yeah, the way he would come out and pump up the crowd and stuff.
He'll say that's what got him up for a big physical game of football.
No, and I think it was real.
Oh, I don't know if that was a pander.
I think it was genuine.
Something for him to get jacked up.
Yeah, it did get him jacked up. What I loved about Dawkins, and I was working for the Eagles at the time, so I'd be in the locker room with the players after the games. I have never seen a player care more about a loss than Brian Dawkins would.
Yeah, he was devastated when they lost.
Devastated,
yeah,
Mike.
Yes, he was. All right, on the text board, other players people are suggesting they should have immunity. Who is it?
All right, we got 2 people here. Sean Embiid and Todd at Wilmington both saying Darren Dalton.
Dutch, absolutely not. It would be immune from criticism for what he did for this team. And, of course, Dutch was a big part of this radio station. And he was a dear friend of mine, and I miss him. That's a pretty good call. Now, not the greatest numbers in the world, but you're right. Immune from criticism. There wasn't one game that he didn't give you his heart.
Yeah,
that's a good one. That's a really good one. That's a thinker. Whoever gave us that one.
Shout out to Sean and Media and Todd from Wilmington.
Good job on that.
Both suggesting that one. We got an unnamed texter checking in with Roy Halladay.
Yeah, he might have been my favorite pitcher to watch of all time. I love good pitching, and my man was like the most focused guy I've ever seen on the mound. I mean, he just wanted to destroy you. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, the stories of him that first spring training when they got him, all the training workouts and how he'd get in there.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one too.
Hours before.
Yeah, I would agree with that one. He was, people go, how do you appreciate pitchers? I go, this guy was phenomenal in his focus on getting hitters out. He hated the hitter, which I love.
It's an awesome mentality to have.
It really is.
The Hoffman, was it PAH on his glove, which stands for bleep all hitters, is a pretty good mentality that I want pretty much any one of my pitchers to
Is that
have.
what he had?
I think it's a.
Roy Halladay had that?
No. Hoffman.
Hoffman does.
Hoffman's got that.
Yeah.
That's still Fugazi. He doesn't have the clout of Halladay to have something like that on. Fugazi, come on.
He hates all hitters. That's the mentality I want to have.
I know, but he hates him for one inning. Halladay hated him for his 8.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying Hoffman's the level of pitcher
Yeah.
that Halladay is. I'm just saying I like the mentality.
Yeah.
There are people checking in on
a pander.
It's a pander?
Yeah.
You're saying that's a pander?
There
So
are
much.
There are people checking in on YouTube with a guy who, I loved, but immune from criticism. Allen Iverson.
No, he wasn't immune from criticism.
No, right?
No, people. In fact, 50% of the people will criticize him in his town for his shenanigans.
Yeah, people.
Yeah,
a few people.
Allen Iverson, one of the great players that you can put on a list, but not immune from criticism.
On the basketball court would give it his all, no doubt.
Yeah, but there is another part of that equation that you have to consider.
Yes.
All right, let's go back. Let's go to the phones. T-Love's been hanging. T-Love and Delco. What do you got, T-Love?
Yo, what's up?
How are you? What's popping, T-Love?
Yeah, well, let me just get with this first. I don't think anybody's immune from criticism, but there seems to be a lot of people that get immune from being blamed. You know what I mean?
Like who?
Everybody gets the criticism, but a lot of people, when they should be blamed, they don't get the blame.
Like,
you know?
give me an example.
Well, there was a politician that said he could shoot somebody and get away with it. But, that being said, that ain't really what I want to talk about anyway. Listen.
Yeah.
Moving, I want to know, where's the study where the people sat down and talked with the people of Chinatown, the Chinatown Business Association, the people in there? I personally think it's cultural appropriation. Same thing they did. This country has a long history of taking other people's stuff and making it their own behind, would you say, Fugazi thing of we're going to all make money. We know the only people that make money are the people that, who it's built for.
Yeah, that's incorrect. So let me give you some numbers, okay? This is they're going to generate $1.9 billion in additional economic activity, according to the council's own study. Now, this isn't the Sixers study. So, 30 years of operation, $390 million in tax revenue for the city, school district, and the state. Now, how you feel about that?
If I thought that the people was actually going to get that money, I would be happy for it, but I would still feel bad. Listen, it's the same thing they did with the Indians in the Black Hills, man. Once they found gold there, the Indians had to go. What are we doing about? Did anybody talk to the Chinese people about what?
Of course they did. The Chinese. That's why the Chinese, the authorities are against it. They don't want. They don't like what they're hearing. But you can't come out and say that it's only going to make money for the Sixers because this is regulated by city council. City council's got to absorb some numbers here on how it's going to help the city. They're just not going to give carte blanche.
We know the people never going to see that tax money. And by the way,
come on, man. Come on, T-Love. Come on, T-Love. You're too destructive today. Too destructive. You're not a believer. And I get the cynicism. I get it. But let's just go over some numbers here. This is now the Sherrell Parker administration study of the whole thing. The arena will generate $1.9 billion in additional economic activity over the course of its construction and 30 years of operation. That's $390 million in tax revenue for the city, school district, and the state. Now, that's less than what the Sixers had projected. They projected $1.5 billion in tax revenue, but we're talking about $390 million. That's not chicken feed. Now, the project would not cause direct housing displacement, meaning no housing would be torn down in Chinatown. An arena could cause indirect displacement through gentrification and loss of cultural identity. I don't even know what that means. That sounds good. Sixers' goal of increasing transit use, this is where the sticking point is. Transit use will increase. 40% of fans would have to take public transportation in here. Traffic would remain manageable if no more than 40% of attendees drive. Well, we know that's not going to happen. So more than 40% are going to drive in because people can't be forced to take public transportation. Public transportation scares people from the suburbs.
But this is why they're bringing back that Patco stop in Chinatown, right? This is part of the plan?
Yeah, but still, it's the fear of public transportation. So when you say 40%, 40% will take public transportation, that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, and I think it's a combo. Not only is it fear, there are certain people who prefer to drive than take public transportation. Like, you could take public transportation into the city if you work in the city and work in Jersey, but not everybody's taking the Patco. I used to do the opposite commute. I used to not take the Patco.
Here's what I think they needed to provide. Some monster parking lot for people to come in off I-95 or the Schuylkill and public transportation into the arena. I mean, to me, like, that's the most valuable solution to this whole thing.
Yeah, because I've heard some of the Sixers ownership talking about having to educate the fan base to change their process of how they would get to games. It's not going to happen.
You can't re-educate people who don't want to take public transportation. And if that's their projection, that's the faulty part of this whole thing. Because you're going to get more than 40% that are going to drive in.
Absolutely. Which is going to make it a problem.
Or it's more than 60%, actually. 75% of the people will drive in.
But when you just propose a bigger parking lot somewhere, that's probably the type of things Chinatown's concerned about.
It's almost like a golf tournament. You would have to make it. Like, golf tournament where you park off-site.
And then you get driven in. But where's that parking lot going?
Well, I don't know.
You'd have to take away
That's what would have been part of my plan. I'm always thinking.
You are thinking.
610-632-0975. Mike and Maple Shade, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Mike.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
What's up, buddy?
Listen, great to have you back on this venue. You were born for it.
Thank
Good
you.
to hear you.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
All right, so I have somebody. Now, I know you're a historian, so you're going to know who I'm talking about, who was very important to the Philadelphia Phillies in 1980. But I do want to say that I think they could have maybe turned the page a little bit last night. You got a lot of Phillies players who were doing things good, like Cassiano was having some plate discipline. and Stott is now hitting the ball on the ground and getting infield hits, and they're doing some things. Some of their bit players are doing things that are good things to help them win.
I
So
agree. The one caveat of this whole thing is I don't trust this left fielder at this point. I mean, he's got my man's got to start contributing.
Yeah, I got you. And Rojas nice catch last night, and so it was a good win. So, I'm not. It's not Boa, not Schmidt, not Lazinski, not Rose, but part of the team for 2 or 3 years, a rock solid player, Manny Trio. He had an arm. He could hit the home run. He could hit a double. He was quick. He was smart, and
He's a good player. He wasn't immune from criticism.
Oh, he won. He was.
He wasn't immune from criticism. I mean, he was like a 250 hitter.
Yeah, he was a solid player who.
I loved him because I love that the dynamic of the way he threw the first base. I loved it.
Yeah, he made the plays that won the Houston Astros.
He did, but that doesn't make him immune from criticism.
No,
he wasn't a great player. He was a solid player.
He was very solid. He just had that disposition where I just couldn't find fault with the way he played.
I got you. All right,
okay.
That's interesting. Manny Trio. He had a lot of lackluster hitting years with the Phillies. Let's see what he hit with the Phillies. He played He only played 4 years with the Phillies. Huh. What did they trade him for? Oh, was that the trade for Von Hayes? Did they trade him for Von Hayes? Was he one of the players that went for Von Hayes?
I don't remember.
That's interesting.
What year are we going back to here?
Manny Trio played till 82.
Yeah, I was born in 83.
Yeah.
What you don't know Phillies history? You know Babe Ruth played. You weren't born then.
I don't know who he was traded for.
Well, do you remember the notorious trades that Phillies made? The Phillies traded 5 players for Von Hayes. I think he was one of them.
He was one of them.
He was?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Let me see if I can recollect. George Vukovich.
Yep.
Correct.
Julio Franco.
Mm-hmm.
Also correct.
A pitcher named, it was a right-handed pitcher. What the hell is his name? Jay Bauer.
Yep.
How about that?
One more you got.
I got one more? All right, so wait. It's Vukovich, Trio, Franco, Bauer. Was it a catcher?
Yes.
It was a catcher?
Yep.
Oh!
Left-handed bat.
A left-handed catcher?
Right hand through righty, batted lefty.
I can't come up with him. Who was it?
Jerry Willard.
I never got him.
I was surprised.
Jerry Willard.
I was surprised you got, was it Baller?
Jay Bauer.
Baller.
Yep.
Let's talk about something you said to that caller.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Hayes. You don't have faith in him, huh?
No, there's nothing he's doing that's impressing me yet.
So they brought him here with the idea.
It's troubling. It's troubling, to be honest with you. I thought he would produce right away.
And they brought him here to be the everyday left fielder.
Yes, I'm troubled by it.
If it continues, would you consider a platoon in left? And then roll with maybe Rojas in center every day?
I don't know if I can roll with Rojas in center every day. I think you just have to ride this out. He has to get the rest of the year to get it together. But I am just telling you, I'm slightly troubled by the
It's
whole
slightly troubling for a guy that's shown in the past in Baltimore where he's had a solid first half and tapered off in the second half that he's currently not producing.
Yes.
Tried to temper the expectations when that trade was made.
You look at his splits. I mean, he's batting over 300 against lefties, 200 against righties. I know last year he had better numbers against righties.
So you're considering the platoon because of that.
Well, I'm thinking
Play him against lefties.
you're not as high on Rojas as maybe I am.
You're going to play Marsh every day then?
No.
You got him
Platoon him
who's
with
playing?
Marsh. Let Rojas be your center fielder.
Rojas every day you're playing?
Every day. Because he will make – look what he does in the field, man. You don't win that game last night if he's not in center field.
You know, I got to be honest with you. I'm going to say something that's probably weird. I don't think that catch was that spectacular.
What?
I really don't think it was that spectacular. If you look at it, he kind of smothered it. He was there in time. He didn't make an outward dive to catch it. He kind of got low to catch it.
Let me ask you. if Marsh is still in the game, does he make that catch?
I don't. Well, first of all, he took a step back on the ball. What necessitated that dive was the fact that he misread it in the first place. You didn't catch that?
He did.
He took a step backwards on it first.
He did, but you're assuming.
I don't think the catch was that great. I'm going to be honest with you.
You're assuming Marsh reads it right off the bat.
He didn't take that off the ground. He took it like chest high on the dive. If you look at it. Now, that doesn't mean it wasn't a good catch. It was certainly a good catch. I don't think it was a sensational catch.
Why do you hate Johan Rojas?
I don't hate him.
Why are you hating on him? Isn't he, Ray? Is he hating on Rojas?
A little bit on that catch last night.
I can't stand the fact that he can't figure out why he's not a better hitter.
Dude, he's batting 300.
I can't figure out why the Phillies didn't look at this guy and go, that bat is too big for you. You can't be this type of hitter where you're going to hold he's got his hand on the bottom of that bat, right? A guy like that should be putting the ball in play more.
Yeah, but since the All-Star break, he's batting 300. He's got 10 runs scored.
All right.
3 doubles, 5 RBIs.
All right, I don't trust him. I don't trust him as an offensive player.
The question isn't necessarily if you trust Rojas. Do you trust him more than Brandon Marsh or Austin Hayes?
No, as an everyday player, no. Austin Hayes at least has a track record of being a somewhat decent hitter. Rojas doesn't have that track record. I'm going to play him every day.
So your plan right now is Austin Hayes is your everyday left fielder
for the rest of the season,
and you're platooning Marsh and Rojas.
Yes, for the rest of the season, he is my. I got to give him a chance because if you've got a left fielder that can produce a little bit, then you got to give him a chance to produce. And if he doesn't, you took a shot. You traded for the guy so he could produce every day as an everyday player. So you got to give him that chance.
Here's my issue with platooning Rojas and Marsh. Rojas actually has reverse splits this season. He's batting better against righties than he is against lefties.
That's a fluke. I don't understand how that could happen.
He's batting .261 against righties, .205 against lefties.
I don't know what this. There's something wrong with that then. Well, that tells me left-handers are getting in on him, and he can't handle it because his bat is like he's carrying one of Abraham Lincoln's logs from the cabin he lived in.
He's got to choke up.
The size of the bat he uses.
He's got to pull a Mickey Morandini.
Come on, what is he, Aaron Judge? Taking a pole like that up there?
Hey, whatever he's doing has been working since the break. He's got a better batting average than Harper since the All-Star break.
So you're telling me you would be comfortable with Johan Rojas as an everyday player and platooning Hayes with Marsh? That's what your solution would be.
If Hayes continues to struggle.
Okay. 610-632-0975. All right. We got more on the text line. Players that should be immune. Who do you got, Ray?
All right. Stephen Haverton, check it in. Bryce should be immune, but he said you can criticize recent body language, which I think counteracts the idea of him being immune. But another player that Steve also suggests, Nick Foles.
Nick Foles.
Immune from criticism? His numbers were average here. Let's make some noise. Come on. All right. I don't even want to give it. People love themselves in Nick Foles. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You know, he caught lightning in a bottle, and they won a Super Bowl. I get why you love him, but immune from criticism? He got out of the pocket like a drunken giraffe. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli shows on 97.5 The Fanatic. It's the Mike Missanelli Show with Bill and Ray, and the Phillies with a big win last night. Walk-off base knock by Bryce Harper, and one of the guys that I never question. I just don't. I know there's been a lot of criticism. The numbers that have been poor since the All-Star break, and I go, that guy. There's nothing that I could look at with that guy and say I don't appreciate him. I don't care if he pander, whatever you interpret that being, where he wears the fanatic stuff, and the only thing I don't like about him, and I've said this before, he just wears his hat terribly. He just wears his hat terribly. He looks like a goof. He's got it tilted forward, like it's too small for his head because he has that headband on.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the headband.
No, but Bohm wears a headband, and he has a hat that fits him. So get an extra quarter inch. You know, what's he got? He's a 7 5/8.
The only criticism
he's wearing a 7 1/2.
The only criticism of Bryce Harper from Mike is the way he wears his hat. That's it.
I don't like the hat. Did you see what I'm talking about with the hat?
I know what you're talking about. That doesn't bother me.
I just don't like it. But I have to laugh because the numbers numbers have not been good. His batting average was like 218. His slugging was not good. And I go, but it's not like this guy's not going to come out of it. We've seen him so many times lift this team up with a clutch play or clutch hit. And last night, the most underrated play of the night was not Rojas. It was that short hop he got down the line. That was a better play than Rojas made.
That wasn't an easy play. I'll give you that. But Rojas I just watched the replay again. Rojas was a big catch, man.
It was an okay catch. I didn't think it was a fabulous catch. I really
very
didn't.
good catch.
He kind of surrounded it, and then as he was catching it, he dove. He didn't dive to make the catch.
But he's lined up in left center.
Yes, but he made a bad step backwards first.
But the guy hits a line drive straight into right center field.
You're trying to get me to criticize Rojas because you love him. And I don't. Listen, I think he runs down balls. I can't argue with that. I just think his offensive approach leaves a lot to be desired, and I don't like that about it. But I'm not going to say he's a bad player. He's necessary for them.
Well,
I just wish he would make himself more necessary.
Where I would agree with you on this, and this is now tying in the Austin Hayes conversation, I wish Dombrowski would have done more in the outfield before the trade deadline.
Well, listen, I don't think that was a bad trade. That guy was a starter for Baltimore until you get nosed out by better prospects. But somewhere along the line, he's got to start raking,
Yeah, but to Ray's point earlier, the fact that he struggled the second half last season, and now you're seeing it again this year, I would have preferred them to do something in center. The guy I wanted isn't making me look like I was right now, but that was Luis Robert.
He's a pig, Luis Robert. What do you want a pig for? You don't want a guy like that. You want a guy that, listen, Hayes looks like he's really eager to play. I mean, he's got, I think his body language is really good.
What do you think about the no batting gloves look?
It's a matter of preference. Yeah, if guys feel more comfortable no batting gloves, they feel more comfortable no batting gloves.
Not many no batting gloves.
No, not many do it, but a lot of people like the feel of the bat, and they think gloves restricts that feel, the pure feel of the bat. He's an old schooler.
I remember
this day and age,
Van Slyke used to go no gloves.
Yeah, there were some guys in the past. I don't understand how it would help you.
No gloves?
Yeah.
You know, we got him with no gloves, and we got Kenny Pickett with 2 gloves playing quarterback.
We should switch the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Looks a lot better.
Switch them up.
Please.
All right, so we got 2 themes here as we go into the 11 o'clock hour, and I still want the text line to be humming, and I want the calls at 610-622-0975 because we're doing market research. The people about the arena with the Sixers, I am totally in favor for. I think it'll be the coolest thing to have an arena on top of the train and like the Boston Garden, replicate that Boston Garden whole thing. And it would be brand new. I just like the whole idea of it. And I wouldn't mind taking public transportation into the arena. But I know that is the major sticking point because this study now that council looked at, not the Sixer study, they made their own study, and it's saying it's going to generate $390 million in net tax revenue. People are complaining about that because it's not the $1.5 million that the Sixers projected. $390 is $390. It's still not bad, is it?
No, it's still good, but man, those numbers were pretty inflated by the Sixers.
And the Sixers goal of increasing transit use to 40% of fans. Well, I don't know if they get that. So this is probably going to be shot down because there's a councilman now that's trying to weigh both sides. He's got this really strong lobby unit from Chinatown against the 76ers. And he has to kind of like recommend that his district accept it. And right now he's in limbo. His name is Mark Squilla.
Yeah, what I'm not understanding, and I got to do more research here, is how an arena in Chinatown is not going to result in more people going to restaurants in Chinatown, more people spending money in Chinatown. Now, what is it that they're very against?
They don't want crowds in their neighborhood. It doesn't become a neighborhood if you've got crowds that are going to go through it. I can see why they don't want it. I think they're being a little short-sighted. I think that the whole industry of Chinatown is based on kind of tourist dining and shops and things like that. I don't know.
Now, we're asking the question to the listeners, do they want this new arena in Chinatown? I'm also curious if just in general, do you want a new arena? Because if you look at the Sixers, you look at their schedule, we never really dove deep into their schedule this coming season, but they get screwed every year from Christmas to New Year because Disney on Ice is always at the Wells Fargo Center. So you look at their schedule this year.
They get screwed by Comcast in general. The terms that Comcast puts on them, they get screwed. I would want my own arena too.
Yeah.
But I got a feeling that the majority of the people will say no to it. I don't think people like change in general. I do. But I think people are so set in their ways that it scares them that they can't go to the arena without taking public transportation.
People hate change, Mike. There's a reason why. There's a reason why so many people work miserable jobs their entire lives because they're too afraid to change. Mm-hmm. But I'm with you. I want to see something new. I think it'd be great to be able to go downtown. People will do it. See, here's what I don't understand. The people who are saying they won't go downtown for a Sixers game, you go there for the Academy of Music. You go there for the Kimmel Center. You could watch shows down there. Those people aren't complaining about
They drive down there. And they get parking lots they pay exorbitant fees for, but they drive to those things.
You do drive to those.
Yeah.
You do drive to those. But with the new transportation being all set up to get to Chinatown, it is easier. It's not like you're going into City Hall.
It's a hassle for people that live in the suburbs to stay away from the hassle of having to take public transportation.
Now, here's what's interesting, because a lot of people on the YouTube chat are saying that the people who are complaining about public transportation to the games are probably the ones that aren't going to Sixers games anyway.
No,
I wonder if
I
that's
disagree
accurate.
with that because the people that are going to Sixers games now are driving to Sixers games. Everybody, how many people are actually taking the Broad Street line to go to a Sixers game? Maybe to an Eagles game. To a Sixers game, you're driving. It takes me a half an hour once I'm on Broad Street to get into that lot. There's so many cars. It's the worst. I've been to many arenas around the country. Getting into a Sixers game is the worst possible experience you could ever have with a car.
Sixers?
Yes.
Not any other of the sports down there?
The Sixers, for whatever reason it is, it takes you forever to get into that parking lot.
I think it's the timing. Like just a 7 o'clock game at night, where it's located versus.
I also think it's terrible instruction to get in.
Oh yeah, I agree.
The police officers should not be employed. There should be better security to regulate traffic. I don't know if they could do that. I think the Philadelphia police officers have to do that. I don't think the police officers are invested in getting you into an arena quickly. So it bogs down. And when you have to go through those gates, it takes a while for you to get through that gate. Right? That big.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Welcome to Comcast Country Gate.
I do
from
feel
Broad Street.
My entire viewpoint of the travel down there has been eroded because I've been in the city now for almost 7 years.
You got it easy. You can take the Broad Street line. You zip right down there.
Yeah. We're ignoring another big element here, and that's ride shares. Uber, Lyft. Like, we're talking about the public transportation, but I remember, and I can't find the article, I remember hearing one of the Sixers owners talking about how a majority of the people who went to games this season took Ubers from Center City down to the complex in South Philadelphia.
Would you don't think that's going to bog down traffic? They're already going to be in traffic. Like you take an Uber to a Sixers game. How's the Uber? What is the Uber going to? Is going to like the Jetsons? They're going to fly. They're going to fly over the traffic jam to get you into the stadium. They're going to be in the same.
They're going to need a drop-off spot like a few blocks away or
yeah,
something.
but they're going to have to shuttle them in.
They'll have to be a
Because
drop-off
you
spot.
can't get near the place. Even if you're an Uber, you can't get near the place to drop somebody off.
I just think you could get creative here. There's going to be ways that they could get creative, Mike, to make this
Listen,
work.
I'm all for it. If you have to retrain people that to go to a Sixers game, it's better to take public transportation than retrain their brains. I love this idea. I want Philadelphia to be unique in a lot of ways. Putting another arena down where all the arenas are is boring. Putting an arena in Camden will prohibit a lot of people from wanting to go over the bridge. It costs a lot of money to go over the bridge these days. Well, I got Easy Pass, but the people, I'm amazed at the people that don't have Easy Pass and wait in line.
Me
How
too,
much
man.
is it now? Is it $7?
How much is the bread? I don't even know because of Easy Pass.
Easy Pass, yeah. I'm Easy Pass guy.
People pay at least $6. It's at least $6.
Yeah, you know what? I'm curious. If you don't have Easy Pass, what's the reasoning?
I don't understand it. I really don't. It's funny because when you come back from the shore, there's all people that are in line to pay.
Yeah.
And I go, why would you do that? You know this is going to happen.
My mother refuses to get Easy Pass.
There's something about bureaucracy that scares people.
I ask
it's
my
so
mom.
easy, too. You just apply. They send you a transponder. You put it on your
It's so
dash.
easy. But what
It
she
really
doesn't,
is.
what she doesn't like,
She thinks they're
It's
following
the
them?
automatic renewal.
yes,
The
is that
automatic-
it replenishes.
The replenishing is like $25, though.
Yeah, she doesn't like that. She doesn't like that. Oh no, they're taking $25 from me, but they're not.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Yeah, I know. I get it. People are loath to
I
change.
thought people might be scared of them knowing where you are at all times, following
Well,
you
my
around.
mom complains because she takes this one exit that still you have to throw change into the change holder. It's on off of 42 onto the expressway or whatever, and it's always broken. Oh, and they always send me tickets. I said, just get Easy Pass. Just get Easy Pass.
You know, there was a time. I have a friend who had his grandparents lived in Florence, New Jersey. So Bristol is close to Jersey bridges, and the Turnpike Bridge is how you get to Florence, New Jersey. They actually had the exit for Florence. Once you got there, the exit was on the honor system, where if you didn't have the change to put in the basket, you could take an envelope.
I love it.
And mail it to them.
I love it.
You know how many people actually would mail?
Well, somebody says on here, Easy Pass allows you to be tracked everywhere, and then someone comments underneath, what do you think your phone does?
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're worried about?
No, I don't understand the non-Easy Pass people. You got to explain it to me. 610-632-0975. On the other side, I'll tell my Bobby Clark story.
Sean Kincade.
reunion.
What's this, Sad But True?
Yeah. Very nice.
It's a good jam.
Done by you. Lars. So Mike Missanelli Show, 610-622-0975.
And your band reunion is actually family, right? They're brothers, aren't they?
Who hate each other.
Yeah. Like, have walked off stage
having
in
fist
concert.
fights.
Yeah, they're brothers.
Yeah. They're crazy English brothers.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this story so compelling. And, one of them was married. You see the Lethal Weapons movies? Yeah. All right. You remember
Been a while,
the one
though.
that had the South African theme?
It's been a while.
Diplomatic immunity. Because they couldn't arrest him. And he was the guy from South Africa. The woman who was his assistant, Patty Kensett.
Yes.
Remember her?
I do.
She was married to one of those Gallagher brothers.
Lennon. No,
Huh?
Lennon's her son.
She was married to Liam.
Liam, and they named their son Lennon. That was right. Lennon Gallagher.
No, she was married to Noel. I'm sorry.
Noel.
It was Noel. Liam was the crazy singer.
And so, we understand Sad But True's Metallica. We're talking about Oasis now.
Yeah, we're talking about Oasis because I said a little softer. Let me ask you this question in general for Oasis. Is there anybody who doesn't like Oasis? Because their music was, I don't know. I could listen to them for a really long time.
Well, that was, for me, that was high school.
All right, so
when they were big. And
they were compared to
college.
the Beatles. Like those kind of songwriting elements.
Slip inside the eye of your mind.
Look at you, man.
I loved Oasis, man. Right like that.
We'll get to it in a second. Let me tell this story first. So a lot of people say, well, who are these athletes that are immune from criticism? And the list we had so far, because I brought Bryce Harper. I go, there's nothing that guy could do. And a lot of people say, well, look at his body language. Well, his body language usually comes after he knows he missed a pitch. He's such a perfectionist. He gets a cookie and he fouls it back. That lingers in his head, and so he'll slam something in the dugout. I don't mind that, right? Because that's frustration on how he didn't perform when he should have performed. That defines him more for me as a guy who's immune from criticism because he understands what he did wrong. So he was my first guy on the list. So then we got Chase Utley, of course, Brian Dawkins, Reggie White from Eagles. Eric Lindros was always a guy that I had immunity to, and I know a lot of people would disagree with that one. Darren Dalton and Roy Halladay so far, right? And somebody said Bobby Clark, and I go, I don't know about that because I watched his entire career. In fact, I was covering hockey back then. I covered him at the tail end. I always appreciated his work ethic, but he had this little snippy thing in there where he would let other people fight his battles, and I didn't like that. I didn't respect that. So here is the story. When he was a general manager, I thought he was a terrible general manager because he was about the closed-mindedest general manager ever. He wouldn't sign Eastern European players. He was loath to sign them because he had this old school mentality about when they played the Russians, and it was like he had this old Cold War look at these Eastern Euros. And
he wasn't drafting Michkov, that's for sure.
They all had to be North Americans for him, right? And meanwhile, these Euros are coming in like Yager and and they're lighting up the league. So that's how I criticized him. So I would criticize him on the air, and I said it got to a point where the Flyers were just spinning their wheels several years into his general manager regime. And I said on the air, the Flyers will never win a Stanley Cup as long as he's general manager. Like his mindset was not open enough to add other players that could have helped him. He always looked for the same type of player. I thought that was fair criticism. Well, the next time I went to a Flyers game, I'm walking down the corridor of the Spectrum, and I am met by his wife and daughter. And they stopped me in my tracks. And they started yelling at me for criticizing him on the air.
Wow. Thin skin.
And to boot, I heard that they went to the Flyers to try to get me banned from coming into the arena.
All they had to do was say you went for an unwanted kiss.
I said to her very politely, I said, Mrs. Clark, with all due respect, I have a job to do, and my opinion is part of my job. And if you don't like what I had to say, you always have the option of turning it off. I was very, very respectful.
That was respectful.
And then after that, they went to Flyers trying to get me banned. So later on,
Have you ever talked to Bobby?
well, the story continues. You always interrupt the story when I'm not finished. So the story continues. Years later, I am invited by Resorts Casino to be the MC of a high rollers get-together with guests, with Dave Schultz and Bob Clark as the main guests. So I have to introduce Bob Clark. Now, I write a beautiful, glowing introduction to Bob Clark. I'm going, it's years down the road. I'm, whatever. Like, who cares at this point? He's retired. He's on with his life. So I go up to him before the I have to announce him just to try to break ice and shake his hand, and he F-bombs me.
Wow. He remembered.
He's got a little glass of beer in his hand, like, there's like VFW wedding type of glasses of beer.
There's a real high rollers event. If a little beer's going.
Well, he had it. Everybody, the high rollers were in the audience, right? So and so he F-bombs me. And I go, man. I go, dude. You're still bitter? And he sneers at me. And so I go through. I classily introduce him with my glowing words.
That was nice of you.
And so Dave Schultz comes over after a while. He goes, Clarky gave you a hard time? I go, yeah, he did. He laughed. I go, what did he do? Ask you to fight his battle against me? Let's go to Joe in West Philly. Joe, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Joe.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
What's up, Joe?
Good to hear you again, man. Good to hear you back on the radio again.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, I hear y'all talking about the Sixers arena. I don't understand why the Sixers are getting so much trouble, man. I mean, they're going to pay for their own arena. The game started at 7:30. There's nothing going on down Center City at 7:30 at night. And the transportation is fair for everybody. Everybody doesn't have to haul it down to South Philly. You know what I mean? You can get anywhere in this area in 30 minutes from Center City, Philadelphia, whether you're going to Jersey, Delaware. Or
but see, you got to understand, people don't look at it that way. They look at it like it's a hassle to get on public transportation. They look at it like they have to mingle with people on the train that they don't want to mingle with. It's a whole thing, a mindset against public transportation that a lot of people have that live in the suburbs. Let's face it, you're in the cushy suburbs. You got all the modern conveniences. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. But I mean, Center City, Philadelphia is not the dumps. You know what I mean? It's nowhere near the dumps. There's plenty of commercial, plenty of restaurants, plenty of drinks and bars. I mean, I don't see where Chinatown is this big place where it's all in the way and people are.
Well, you don't see it, but the people, the residents do. That's why you got to defer. I always defer to what their complaints are. I go, okay, I get it. Now I can have my opinion, you can have your opinion, but it's their ground that's being trod on.
Yeah. I mean, but the ground belongs to Center City, Philadelphia. I mean, it belongs to the whole city. It's not like it's smack dab in the middle of Chinatown. It's a Market Street or a Tesla. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not in the middle of the village. It's out on the outskirts. It helps everybody. It's finally a team that's going to pay for everything. They're paying for all the studies and everything.
Yeah.
I don't see why this is such a big deal. I mean, there's nothing going on at 7:30 in downtown Philadelphia. Nothing.
I got to be honest with you. I don't think this is getting built. My instincts are that when you have opposition like this, it's not going to be built. Well, which is a shame.
When's the deadline? When's the vote? Do we know?
I don't know. It's far away. It's far away. I mean, this is supposed to be built by 2031. I will not live it to see the day that this is built. My ashes will be scattered along the Chesapeake Bay.
I'm looking now.
Then.
Yeah, the public hearings over the proposal and a final vote may not take place until 2025.
Yeah, which means that's going to delay the project even more to 2035. 610-632-0975. Back after this. First game of a tough series against the Houston Astros. What good pitching matchup tonight. You got Nolan Verlander. I don't know where I'm going to go there. I thought I told you yesterday I think the Phillies would win. I took Houston plus a run and a half.
You said 3-2, if you remember.
I did.
You called it.
Yes, I did. So it was a double cash and carry for me last night. And Bryce Harper with the game-winning hit and a good catch in the outfield by Johan Rojas, and then Bryce with a really good snag down the line, preserved that game. Their defense preserved the game last night. And also it was announced prior to the game that the pitcher that we thought would not get another start is getting another start. They'll give Taijuan Walker one more chance. Now, this sets up the rotation better, I guess, because then it looks like Sanchez can pitch against the Braves. But to me, this is clearly we can't cut. It's too soon to cut our losses with this dude. You know, like we could release him and give him another chance to catch on, and they can sign him for the minimum. The Phillies would have to play a majority of the salary still, but they're going to give him one more chance. It probably makes sense to give him one more chance, right?
Yeah, at first I was furious, Mike. Mm-hmm. When I saw it, I'm thinking, who's making this decision? Is this being forced upon Rob Thompson?
Yeah.
But I was talking to Colin Newby, who does a good job writing articles for 975thefanatic.com, and he raised an interesting point. Really, what was the option? So let's say they said, we're not going to start Walker anymore. Well, now you'd have to pitch Sanchez on Wednesday, so he doesn't get the extra day's rest because you had no one else. Mercado can't pitch till Thursday. If you kept Colby Allard, he probably couldn't pitch till Friday. You can't recall Tyler Phillips yet because you just sent him down. So what would have been the better option? Because I was furious, but when you really look at it from that perspective, this is probably his last start, unless he really impresses.
Yeah. If he gives them 5 innings, then he saves himself. If he gives them 5 decent innings,
he'll earn another start.
If he just does the Colby Allard, where we're sitting there nervous the entire time, but he walks out of there with somehow 3 runs on the board, as all these let happen, I'm cool. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to feel comfortable with him out there, but I'm cool with the 5 innings, 3 runs, get out of there and save us.
Now, would you have considered, though, just pitching Sanchez on Wednesday and then having Mercado on Thursday and not letting him pitch at all?
I've seen enough of Taijuan Walker. And it's because of his velocity. He's obviously, sometimes pitchers just wear out, lose their velocity. You can see a steady decline in his velocity. Now it's his worst ebb ever.
Well, Topper says it's improving.
I don't know what he's looking at. I saw the radar gun. Every pitch he was throwing was 91 or below. Like where did he say it was improving?
I don't know, man.
I didn't see it improving.
Very bad to pretty bad is an improvement. Doesn't mean that it's going to make me feel any better.
That's true.
All right. Eagles news, Bill. The cut down, 4 o'clock today. We're not looking for major surprises, but one cut surprised you because you said yesterday this guy would be the 3rd tight end on the team.
Yeah, E.J. Jenkins, former wide receiver who put on a lot of weight and impressed at tight end, got released. So I'd be shocked if they don't try to get him back on the practice squad. But this could mean one of 2 things. Either they roll with 2 tight ends on the 53, or some people are thinking Jack Stoll, who was your 3rd tight end last year, just got released by the New York Giants. Could they be looking to bring him back? I don't want Jack Stoll back, but I mean, he all he can do is block. The guy's not a threat in the receiving game at all.
Pretty much all they need at this point with the 2 tight ends they have. They probably last year they utilize him as just a blocker.
Well, it would be the same if they bring back Jack Stoll. It would be the same 3 you had last year: Dallas Grant, and
which was okay, which was fine. Is E.J. Jenkins going to improve you that much?
No, probably not. More upside, though.
Yeah, but they're not going to throw to him very much if he's on the team.
No, we're talking about the 3rd tight end.
Nobody will sign him. He'll be on the practice squad.
That's what I think,
can always
too.
Move that whole position. All right, let's go to John in Royersford. John, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. John.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Good, man. Now, we didn't talk about this shit, so I'm glad you're going to bring this up. Jose Alvarado has left the team for personal reasons, which is really interesting.
Yeah, he didn't just leave the hotel and all that. He posted on social media this morning, and can I read it for you guys?
Yes. Now, did he post in English or in Spanish?
I got it translated.
Oh, you got it translated. Okay, go ahead. What translate it?
Lord, this morning I want to thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your care and for all your blessings. Thank you because you always protect me and because I can feel your wonderful love working in my life and in the life of my family. Please give me the strength and wisdom I need to move forward, the courage to not let myself be brought down by adversity, and the patience to plant my fields and know how to wait for the harvest. I ask you to protect my life, the life of my family, to take care of our home and not allow anything bad to happen to us. Surround us with your kindness, illuminate our days, and help us to emerge victorious from each of our battles. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen.
He really tweeted. It's a prayer. He tweeted that?
Instagram story.
Oh, it's his Instagram?
This may have been an already written prayer. I don't know if he wrote this out himself. Did he?
I'm not sure, but it had something to do with his family. And
yeah, he's got a personal problem with his family. That's very.
Yeah, it looks like a retweeted prayer to me.
You think that,
or a reposted.
So that he took a prayer and just put it out there?
His family got threatened, is what I think.
Really? It's interesting. My niece texted me last night. Said, "What's the deal with Alvarado?" It's a very underplayed story that he leaves for personal reasons, and people don't like to pry into when it happens like that. They don't like to. Reporters aren't going to pry into what that personal problem is, unless it becomes evident.
Mm-hmm.
Venezuela, though. All right. Well, I appreciate that. I hadn't seen that. That's really interesting.
It's scary.
It's scary, and it's Venezuela, and it's shaky ground, and I don't know. I don't know what that means. It's a big blow for the Phillies. It really is.
Yeah, you have no idea when he's coming back, if at all.
Have to get there's obviously going to be a follow-up story on this if it comes to light what's going on with him. But just the notice that he was on the restricted list for personal reasons gets people going, whoa, what's that? Because he just pitched and seemed to be all right and the whole bit.
It's immediate concern. Restricted list is not usually a good sign.
No, it's not. And Venezuela is not a good sign either.
Yeah, your mind went to Venezuela. I just went to anytime a guy goes on the restricted list. I know Darvish was just out for quite a while with the Padres on the restricted list.
Well, he's indicating in his prayer that he's praying for his family. So my mind immediately goes to Venezuela and the political climate that's going on. There's that election snafu that's going on down there.
Yeah, it's scary.
The fact that he was at the ballpark too, like I think it was Gelb yesterday that said he was at the ballpark and then meeting with the manager and was gone.
Yeah, he met and then boom, left. Something bad happened. And look, from a personal perspective, you feel for him and families in our prayers and all that. And then you look at it from the Phillies' perspective, and it's not good for the stretch run. It's just there's no good way to look at this. It's just bad, but hopefully everything's all right.
It's a mess down there. There's political corruption. There's shortage of food. There's closure of businesses. There's unemployment. So people are poor down there. Human rights violations, and your mind immediately goes to other situations where athletes have been almost I don't want to even say it's irresponsible, but I'm just saying previous examples you'll see stories of athletes being kidnapped for money reasons. So I hope it's not something like that. Let's go to Ron in Northeast Philly. Ron, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Ron.
Gentlemen, good morning. Mike.
What's up, Ron?
Glad to hear you. Welcome back.
Thanks, buddy.
Been a fan since the other channel back in the 90s with Steve Fredericks. And glad to hear your voice.
Thanks, buddy.
Hopefully to get you back on TV because that was another fun thing to do, too. So, but anyway, I was at the Phillies game last night. Great time. But sad to say, I was with my grandkids, and we left at the bottom of the 10th. So, yeah, I missed an exciting ending to a great game. And yeah, violation big time.
You
big
saw
time.
the top of the 10th?
No, we bailed at the very beginning of the top of the 10th. Because we had a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Oh, okay. You got the kids. I get it. I thought you were going to say you saw the top of the 10th, you bailed at the bottom of the 10th.
No, God. Yeah,
Okay,
I would never fall. Yeah, I'd be high.
Yeah. No, I get your reasoning. But, the only problem with it is, extra inning games don't go very long anymore. So
Yes,
You know.
correct. Yes, with the guy on to the zombie runner or
Yeah.
whatever you want to call him. Correct.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And downtown Franklin Brown, my buddy appreciates that.
Uh-huh.
But and then the Sixers.
Yeah.
I think a big problem. I live on the edge of Philadelphia, right almost in Bucks County. People like the convenience of coming and going as they please.
Yes.
Now, unless there's a direct line to the stadium with very like quite a few trains coming, like you don't have to wait a while, then you might have a shot. But if people have to wait on a schedule where the trains aren't coming or they got to do multiple things, people don't want that. They want to come and go as they please, and I think that's a major no-no in a lot of people's minds.
I agree with you, and that's a shame because that means people aren't thinking progressively. This is going to be a really nice thing for the city and a very cool experience. And the more you actually break through the wall of being a suburban person that doesn't want to go through the hassle, I think it makes it so much easier to get to a game. I do that now all the time. I park on Broad Street, like in South Philly, and hop on the Broad Street line and bang in. I can't stand trying to drive in to a Sixer game or an Eagles game anymore.
Yeah, taking the train downtown, like if I have go to court or something for jury duty, taking the train. I remember getting caught in traffic, and like, you got to be kidding me, and seeing the train go by, and then the next time I talked to a friend that works downtown, they said take the train, and then being on that train and blown by traffic is a beautiful thing.
I agree with you. I just think it's the reluctance of people to do it because they can't get wrap their mind around it. Now, I come from a different place, so it's easier for me to get to Broad Street where I'm coming from. This is why I say, if people are going to take I-95 in, there needs to be some kind of a big parking lot. That would be easy as pie. You drive in, you don't have to hit. You know, when you start coming around the jug handles, and that's the traffic. It's like, oh, there you go. Off the Schuylkill or off out 95. You would avoid that. You go right into this lot, this major lot. You know, there's a ton of lots around the airport. Maybe you can carve one out at the mouth of the Schuylkill or the mouth of I-95, and pop on a train that takes you right into the stadium. Wouldn't that be cool?
Does this work for coming from Jersey too?
Yeah, you come from Jersey, you come over to Bridge, there's a lot there, boom.
Yeah, because I don't know how many people are going to want to take Patco from Jersey. People are still going to want to drive. Because not everybody lives near a Patco train in Jersey, so you got to drive to the Patco.
Over the bridge into the parking lot.
Where are you putting the parking lot, though?
I don't know.
And then do you tell
like
people,
a city planner?
Yeah, but do you tell people who work in Center City they cannot use this parking lot? It's only for Sixers games? Because if you have people working in the city, they're going to clog up the lot.
You would hope that they would walk.
Well, the lot would be so big it wouldn't matter. I'd make it.
So you're just wiping out Chinatown at this point. You're just making it all a parking lot. Where are you putting this thing?
I'm not making Chinatown a parking lot. I'm making a way station a parking lot. Like somewhere, like you could take some buildings and you can build a parking lot there. Like at the mouth of I-95 as soon as you come off it.
So you'd have to drive to the parking lot and then get on some sort of shuttle.
Where do you get? Cal Hill Street is where you get off the I-95? Like that exit?
Yeah.
There's got to be some places that you can carve out a big parking lot. No? I don't know. I'd have to look at it. They're not hiring me for my,
You're not the city planner here.
You got to get an architect.
All right. But what we do rely on you for is your baseball knowledge, Mike.
Yeah?
And I got a question for you. I brought this up to Ray before the show. So
Good luck with this one.
Danny Jensen makes Major League Baseball history last night, appearing in the same game for two different teams. So he started with the Blue Jays. He not only appears in the same game, it's the same inning. Starts with the Blue Jays. The game gets delayed. He then gets traded to the Red Sox, and now he's allowed to play for the Red Sox in the same game in the same inning just about a month or two later. I think he should have been disqualified, ineligible for this game. Ray doesn't agree with me.
Well, what would be the point of disqualifying him? What's the upside?
Because he had already played for the other team in the same inning of the game. To me, this is wild. It doesn't make any sense that you should be allowed to play for two different teams in the same game.
Well, you do know there are trades, right? And trades can happen at any time. And when a trade happens, you're at the mercy of the game schedules. Like what? I don't understand why this is an issue for you.
Because it's the same game. So you're telling me he could have a hit or a home run.
Stories like this make Jason Stark's eyes light up. I can see Jason seeing this story and light bulbs literally come out of his head. This is so his type of story.
Well, it's never been done before in Major League Baseball history, which is wild in of itself.
Yeah.
I just think you should not be eligible to play for the opposite team in the same game.
You don't think it's just unique? Like why is it detrimental to the game? Like you say, I don't like it because, but why is it detrimental for you?
It's not detrimental to me. It's just weird, and it shouldn't be permitted.
A lot of weird things happen in baseball. For instance, in Moneyball, the Cleveland Indians are playing the Oakland A's in Moneyball, and Billy Beane is desperate to get a relief pitcher, especially a left-hander. He sees one in the other clubhouse. His name is Ricardo Rincon. They make the trade. Before the game, he switches uniforms.
Before the game, it's fine. And listen, I'm not outraged by this.
Be romantic about baseball.
I see people saying, what are you outraged for? I'm not outraged. I just think it shouldn't be permitted. It just was weird to me when I saw
the strangest criteria for getting. It's okay. It's weird. So what? So it's weird. It's just weird. It's something you can talk about.
MPTR on YouTube says, Bill sounds like the guy from Seinfeld when George double-dipped the chip.
Double dipping the chip is a bigger violation than this.
I'm with you. Double dipping the chip.
You can't double dip a chip.
You can't double
The guy
dip.
was right. What was the guy's name? What was the kid's name that prohibited George from doing that or tried to prohibit?
I don't know, but a double dip, major violation. Ray, do you remember who it was?
No, now I'm upset. I'm thinking about this one.
I know every Seinfeld trivia. His name is Timmy. Well, Timmy. I don't dip that way. However, when we get back to Moneyball here, during that trade, Ricardo Rincon came over to the A's clubhouse and he was met by Billy Beane. What did Ricardo Rincon say when Billy Beane first welcomed them?
I don't remember. And I just rewatched this movie a couple months ago.
It's being taken off of Netflix. I think it was taken off of Netflix. I watched it before it went.
Yeah.
Hola, senor.
That was it? I thought it was going to be some really good line.
Poor guesses by us.
Hey, Ricardo. Well, I guess it's a big surprise. Hi, hello, Ricardo. Hola, senor.
So you would have a major problem with Billy Beane, Mike.
Well, why?
Because he went into the clubhouse and he threw some things. He was angry. You don't do that to baseball players, according to Mike.
No. You, if I'm the general manager and I'm in a slump, I'm saying the manager didn't do it. The general manager's the one that did it, not the manager.
Shouldn't do it, Mike. You said that
I said
it's going to make them press even more.
I said a certain team's makeup, you shouldn't do it. That team was a mutt team that he did it to. He had Jeremy Giambi with his pants down, dancing on. Come on, if I saw that, I'd throw bats.
You don't think Garrett Stubbs was dancing even during the losing streak?
Hell no, you don't dance with a losing streak. You don't dance after a loss. Damn right I'd be throwing bats.
That is what losing sounds like.
Yeah, that's correct. Solid. Top 5 movie in my book, sports movie.
Oh, I love it.
610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues. have a good lunch. I don't know what the lunch habits are anymore with people. They're going back into the office now. The lunch. You were, as a lawyer, Bill, you were a lunchman, right?
Always went for a good lunch.
Lunchman.
I'm an early lunch guy.
Let's go to lunch. Let's go to the Capitol Grill for an executive lunch.
I would have to do that occasionally, but I was more of a breakfast for lunch guy.
Oh,
I loved going out maybe like around 11:15, having a nice breakfast. That's what I like.
Blueberry pancakes, or were you an egg man?
So if I go, I'm an egg guy, but if I go
man.
pancakes, I go banana pancakes.
Oof.
Cooked in.
You can't go banana pancakes.
Oh, are you kidding me?
There's one fruit pancake. It's blueberry.
No, definitely wrong. Blueberry or banana, Ray?
If I had to choose between the two,
Yeah, you're going banana.
no, I'm going blueberry.
Oh, you guys are
I'm not
ridiculous.
putting any fruit in my pancakes anyway.
It's ridiculous.
It's absurd. Especially with little walnuts in there or pecans. You guys don't know good food.
Yeah, come on, man. I'm not an eggman.
You don't like eggs?
I don't eat eggs.
Really?
I eat eggs every day.
Yeah, that's the least surprising thing for me.
Because you're all proteined
Gotta get the
up.
protein.
Yeah, you're proteined up.
Gotta get it.
I had a bad experience with an egg, I guess, when I was a kid, and I have sworn off eggs the rest of my life.
You don't like a good omelet? Nice bacon, egg, and cheese?
No, I skeeve. I skeeve the egg.
There you go.
Skeeve.
I was waiting to find out you were an omelets guy, too.
Yeah, I skeeve the egg. Anyway, it is noon time, which means it is time for the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Ray Dunn has the news at noon. Ray, what do we have today?
All right, let's start with talking announcers. We talked announcers a little bit yesterday. This one, a brutal listen all around. Out in California, a high school had its PA announcer caught on a hot mic during a live stream of its high school football game. I'm going to play for you the full clip so you can hear him deliver the PA address on the play that he was very upset about.
This is a matter day. This is a big-time football game. All right.
And this is what he had to say about a 16-year-old high school football player.
Turn around. Yeah. Pass intended for number 11, Tyler George. Incomplete. Penalty markers down. Turn around, you dumbass. Read his eyes. I don't know why I'm calling a 16-year-old a dumbass. Kind of redundant. Maybe it was more ass hat. That was it.
He didn't know that stuff was going on in the air. He was doing play-by-play right in the middle of it.
He was doing PA announcing, so he thought he'd turn off the PA mic, but they still had him on the live stream.
Oh, my God.
I lost me a track of that. That was a PA announcer doing that. Yeah, I tell you, they don't mess around at Matter Day. They're usually nationally ranked. That football program. That's almost pro football.
Yeah, it is.
They do at high school.
This guy's got to be done, though, right? They're not going to
Turn around, you dumbass.
Called him an ass hat?
Is that fireable offense? Turn around, you dumbass.
On a high school kid as the PA announcer? I don't see him coming back.
Man, maybe this guy's a beloved old-time PA announcer. Matter Day who's done it for like 35 years. He might get a pass on that.
Yeah, I mean, doubling down on the dumbass is a difficult look for him, but I imagine he survives this one.
I think because of the scope. These aren't innocent. This is a high-powered football program, right?
Higher expectations.
Right,
here.
when that 16-year-old's probably a college prospect.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
He's still only 16. I don't know.
I understand.
Yeah, it's tough. Maybe just always operate as if the mic is hot on that one.
Yeah.
All right, keeping with the news at noon here, we'll go to some NBA podcasts for you because I know you love some good hoopers talking basketball.
I do. The NBA podcasts are just special.
Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, they're all the Smoke podcasts. Mm-hmm. They gave their true feelings on today's NBA players in light of what Ant Edwards had to say about the 90s.
Which he said there were no players with skill back then. Michael Jordan was the only player with skill, and Magic came back at him. Let's hear what these guys had to say.
If I'm being honest, bro, I don't think anybody in this generation could have played like 20 years ago. If I'm being 100, and this is to Ant, this is to everybody in our league, Tatum, all y'all. Let me tell y'all something, bro. 20 years ago, bro, you couldn't get to a triple step back.
No.
You hear what I'm saying to you? You couldn't get to a triple step back, and then if you shot that, it had to go in. You know why? Because we had efficiency back in the day, my dude, and it was so hard. It was too physical. And guess what? The league had to come off of it for the flow of movement to be able to have scoring go up, which is why we like to sit here and watch kind of the rat race of the high-paced game, right? But, bro, let's not talk about the game and let's not talk about the physicality of the game back then. Real because I only think half these kids in the league could have been on an NBA team 20 years ago.
Kevin, KG is like he's nasty. He'll tell it like it is without caring with everybody. But here's the bottom line, all right? And if you don't recognize this, there's more skill in the NBA than there ever was. Now, was the game better back then because it was more structured, because it was more physical, whatever? But if you're not looking at these kids that are playing in the NBA now as a higher level of skill than when, like, I have to laugh at it. Well, the 70s it was best. No, it wasn't. These kids do think that are amazing these days.
I'm with you on the skill. But what do you think about KG talking about the physicality? Do you think these guys would have the same level of success?
The game is different because the physical guys now have to shoot threes. It's just more spread out. Then these guys have to understand this. Maybe Paul Pierce was slow. Maybe Paul Pierce would have a problem playing in today's NBA. Kevin Garnett wouldn't because he's nasty.
Yeah, Paul Pierce may. With the
you got to look at the game has changed. It's a spread out game that involves dribble, drive, pick and roll, shoot a 3-pointer. It's different. And these guys that always say, well, there was, like, Anthony Edwards is out of his mind saying there wasn't skill back in the day. That's stupid to say something like that. So don't take yourself too seriously. But these old school guys, well, I don't know if these guys can play in the NBA we played. Well, then shut up, man. These kids are immensely skilled. They're doing more to enhance their skill today because of the training regimens, because of all the leagues, because there's more chances to play than you guys ever did. Shut up.
It's hilarious how sitting in this space, in the sports media space, they will come after reporters and such and media types that say something along these lines as like, oh, they don't understand the game. And both sides are so extreme here. Anthony Edwards says no one had skill. KG says no one could play. There is no middle ground. The hot take is left sports media and found the players.
The hot take is it was better back in the day. Now, listen, I'm 100 years old, and there's no way I could say it was better back in the day. I saw every era.
You look great. You look great, though.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. For 100? Thank you. All right, thanks.
It's just wild that then we've taken this to two different sides here. Also, Timberwolf on Timberwolf crime right here. KG, Anthony Edwards. Interested to see
I got it.
The dynamic there amongst two that they love out there in Minnesota. We will wrap it up here in Philadelphia, though. Podcast P came out this week, and it's Jared McCain on the podcast. We got kind of a mashup of a lot of the different things that we got into. TikTok, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid.
How often do you get asked from people to do TikTok?
A lot.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Like anybody that
one's tough to do. Like pictures is fine. The TikToks I get, those are tough to do. I can't really do those when I'm like on the road. He knows back there. He tries to. He's like, nah, we're good right now.
If your teammates ask you, what you doing with P?
Yeah.
Has any NBA player?
I don't know if he's down though. I know Maxey, he was not rocking with that.
Has any NBA player asked you yet to do one?
Yeah.
Nah, not asked me. No, I don't think so. Nah.
I don't think I got the TikTok. I don't got the TikTok down. I can dance though.
You'd be all right.
I don't know if have you had any interactions with the big fella Joel? And obviously, I think you've been playing or you've been around Tyrese.
Yeah.
So no interaction with the big fella.
Not with Joel. Maxey, I worked out with him this morning. I went golfing with him. Got to meet Maxey more, but haven't had any interaction with Joel.
With Joel,
a little nervous for that one.
No, you'll with Joel, man. Joel is a big kid. Like Joel, big kid, man. You'll Joel.
All right. Here's what I would say about Jared McCain. He's a nice enough kid. We had him on a couple weeks ago in our first week. Good kid. Eccentric kid. A modern day kid. Does the TikTok, paints his nails, the whole bit. I think it's fine. I'm all for it. However, just so the kid knows, in this city, they put you in a game and you don't play well. Just be prepared for the people that are going to say, see, you're spending too much damn time with the TikTok, spending too much time at the nail salon. You know that's going to happen.
It's definitely going to happen. It's unfair. I mean, this is the problem, I think, with a lot of fans. Do you really think these guys are practicing their sport 24 hours a day? That they're going to just practice for 12 hours and they have no time to do anything else? But you're right. That's what it's going to be. But this guy can do both. But you're right. But you know what I loved from that clip? Sounds like Paul George really likes Joel. Do you hear him?
We lobbied for him on live TV.
I like it, man. We need this team to gel quickly.
Yeah, I listen. They're going to be good. I was reading something the other day that somebody thinks that the Knicks are better than them. I think that was me. So I don't know yet.
I don't see it.
I got to see it. I got to trust them that they're not better than Boston. All right, and there's some people out there thinking that maybe they could be better. I don't think so.
They've given themselves a shot to beat Boston.
All right, that's the news at noon.
As you're talking about Joel, we didn't really mention it. In attendance at the
game
bank
last night,
yeah.
and taking video. He wasted a lot of video.
A lot of video.
Wasted a lot of it.
So much video.
I would save that moment till Harper comes up and then get that whole at bat. But as he got that at bat, somebody in front of him stood up in front of his cam. So that's I don't know if that video is going to be clean. You know,
It looked decent when he put it out there on social
I thought
media.
it was amazing that he was sitting there the whole time, and nobody, like when they shot him, nobody was coming up to him and asking him for an autograph. I thought that was very respectful of the baseball fans that were there, that they didn't bug him.
Yeah, that's how you should treat these guys.
I agree.
There's nothing that bothers me more than when an athlete is in a public space and people think that it's okay to go bother them when they're eating dinner or they're doing something with their family. Like, leave them alone.
Yeah.
So in this situation, he's there watching a baseball game.
Conversely, like this is their one and only chance. Like it's a chance of a lifetime to get somebody's autograph. I could see that side of it too. But it's interesting that Joel does that alone. Like how many athletes have you ever seen just go alone to a sporting event? They always have a crew.
Well, if that was a Philadelphia Eagle, Big Dom would be sitting right behind him. No Eagles going there without Big Dom in attendance.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he had someone there with him in that regard.
Didn't look like it.
You remember the time when Carson Wentz and Alshon Jeffrey, there was the story about how they hated each other?
Sixers game?
Yeah. So I got a picture of it. I was sitting right behind them that day. Again, it was Sixers game. And they walk in. I was in row 2 behind the basket. And they, of course, are in row 1. Well, I snapped a picture of them. It was like a fake bonding moment. I think.
You think it was put out there by the Eagles?
No, I think they gave them the tickets to go together.
Yeah.
Just to hang out.
Well, a lot of people thought it was Alshon who was Santoliquido's source in that article way back when.
Yeah, maybe he was. I don't know. 610-632-0975. I'm gonna dig out that photo. Alshon was wearing one of those funky hats.
You gonna be able to find?
I'm gonna show. Yeah, I'll get it. All right, Mike Missanelli Show continues. Show 97.5 The Fanatic. I think it's about time to take the wrapping off the big reunion, which you'd never, anybody who ever liked Oasis or saw Oasis, there's a really good documentary on it, too. It's called Supersonic, I think. Documentary on the Oasis, the rise and fall of Oasis. And now, after these brothers hated each other with such a passion, they didn't speak for like 20 years. All of a sudden, there's some activity that they're announcing a reunion tour in 2025. And it comes at the 30th anniversary of the Oasis' first album in 94, which was called Definitely Maybe. Now, the songs that you know from Oasis are the two, right?
Champagne Supernova.
And Wonderwall.
They
right?
were on that, right?
No.
No, that's What's the Story, Morning Glory.
Yes, correct. Look at you.
I was an Oasis
fan. I don't know who wasn't, because it was music. There's something about it. They had a hook in the music, and so this is the song that I first heard them, and I liked them. Champagne Supernova and Wonderwall are very popular, but this is hardcore Oasis for me. Ray, kick that.
Mike is so happy right now. It's Liam on the guitar. No, it's Noah on the guitar. My bad. Liam's the singer.
Man ain't all that grand.
Yeah, he has such a unique voice.
He does.
We write this so much. He's got that like nasally voice. But see, that's unlike Champagne Supernova. This is a little hardcore rock, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. Thanks, Ray. So Liam, as the story goes, Noel was a musician already. He was a studio musician. That's all he did. Like they were poor kids from wherever in London or in England, and he was making money as a studio musician. And all of a sudden, they come up with this idea for a band. And Liam, who had no music at all in his background, says, "I want to be the lead singer." And Noel's going, "What? What are you talking about? You want to be a rock star now?" So they put together in the band, and Liam was freaking magic.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, he got that. I'm sorry.
Excited about it.
Yeah.
So, but see, I don't remember the Definitely Maybe album because I was in middle school when What's the Story, Morning Glory dropped.
Okay.
So that was more like Don't Look Back in Anger. Is that from What's the Story, Morning Glory?
Live Forever is from the first one. Live Forever.
Yeah, I know that
song,
jam.
right?
I know that jam.
Yeah. So now they're getting together again. Now, here's the subscript to the story. And it was in this documentary that I was a big In Excess fan. You know, In Excess?
Give me a song.
Give me an In Excess song, Ray. Give me, you know every song in In Excess.
Yeah, I just got to hear it.
Yeah, it's I can't remember what their top hit was. But anyway, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
I need you tonight.
I know this jam.
Because I'm not sleeping. Yeah, so there you go. That's In Excess. I was a big fan. And especially I thought the front man was like really good, Michael Hutchence, who died. But he was in some car accident in he was riding a bicycle with his girlfriend who was a model. You would know who the model is too. And a car hit him, and it kind of scrambled his brain, and he wound up hanging himself.
Jeez.
So anyway, at the end of it, like In Excess was huge, and then the British Music Awards happened in 1996? 1996 Brit Music Awards. Michael Hutchence is given the award to the best new band, Oasis. And here's how it happens.
Has-beens shouldn't present awards to Gunnabees.
Yeah. Has-beens shouldn't be given awards to wannabes, or whatever he said. After Hutchence gives him the award, and that's what Noel Gallagher said in response. he goes to the microphone and rips into Hutchins by saying has-beens shouldn't be given awards to up-and-comer or whatever he said.
Oh, you can see why Noel and Liam didn't get along. Noel sounds like he was
They were they hated each other. The whole thing, but it's hysterical. Like, you got to see this documentary. It's really interesting.
I'm upset though, Mike.
Why?
Because you got me excited when you said that they're reunited and they're going on this tour.
2025.
Yeah, only in UK and Ireland.
We'll go to UK.
We'll bring
be
the
a good
show.
Trip. Be a good trip. Take the wife. He says, let's go to UK see them.
Should we do a show from there?
Yeah.
Make that happen?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's
I'll
go
place a
over there.
couple calls.
I got to be honest with you.
Other side of the building.
Gotta be honest with you. I'd be interested in doing that. I'd be interested in like once in
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Like, I've never seen Oasis. I kind of like them, but that would be a spectacle.
So that's your favorite one, Supersonic?
Yeah, I like Supersonic.
Yeah, I think Don't Look Back in Anger is my favorite.
Yeah. Maybe.
Now we got a problem. We got a problem here, Mike.
Garden Grove.
You don't know Andrew DiCecco that well yet.
No.
And I told you does a great job covering the Eagles. He just texted me.
Oh, he did?
Can't stand Oasis. Nasally, whiny vocals. Oof.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way about Oasis. However, I do not. I'm a big Oasis guy. And I know there's just as many people on the other side of that. Let's go to Laura in Rockledge. Laura, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Laura.
Hello, Michael.
Hello, Laura.
How are you today?
Fantastic.
All right. So I have a story to tell you that literally just happened, and I can't even make this up. Well, apparently I've created a monster with my father, right? Because I was on the hold with y'all. I had to hang up because I got an incoming call from him. And at his age, you never know if it's going to be an emergency, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here's what he was calling to tell me. He was calling to tell me that he saw you on Google News with a post you had made about a coach's pep talk in the, Little League World Series.
Yes.
This is what the man's calling me about. This is also the man that, called me before you returned, which I had already was well aware of, to think he was giving me breaking news because he had read in the Enquirer that you were returning.
Well,
Now, this man does not want to listen to the show, but he wants to report to me on apparently every move you make.
Well, maybe he's listening to the show, and we should. It's a feather in our cap.
Okay, no, he's not. But here's what I'm going to do, because I am heading to my summer destination of Avalon tomorrow. And I am going to convert him into an actual listener whilst I'm down there with him.
Did he have a problem with me talking about that pep talk, the Little League coach?
Oh, no, not at all. No, he just apparently feels the need to report to me on every single thing that he comes across.
I think he's got impeccable taste.
I do not disagree, and this is why I keep telling him, why don't you just listen to the doggone show?
You should.
But he's old. That's why.
Now, I get it. Now, Laura, are you got three straight wins for the Phillies? You're okay now?
All right. So, because I asked you this, I believe, last week or so, and said, is it too soon to be getting, all back on board with their back? And I think you were like, yeah, we can't jump on that they're back yet. So are we at that juncture now? Are we back?
No, I jumped on their back. I say to you that they're a good team, and that's when I know they're a good team. I don't overreact to these little baseball slumps. At the end of the day, they're still a very good team that I think is going to be a 1 or 2 seed in the playoffs. Real simple. I don't get nuts about their little slumps. 610-632-0975. Couple open lines. Now you can get in. Let's hear from you. Missanelli Show. 97.5, The Fanatic. 610-632-0975. Oh, we're all over the map today. The noon hour is kind of like a play hour, right? We're going to get to the bottom of the Eagles' 53-man roster when we find out all the cuts coming up. So we're having our ear to the grindstone at that particular point. But earlier in the show, we brought up Moneyball. Now, there are a lot of people that don't like Moneyball. In fact, Tyrone doesn't like Moneyball. We used to have this discussion all the time.
The movie or the concept?
He doesn't like the movie because he says it's inaccurate. Now, he's right to a point because it was embellished that Moneyball was this bad news Bears team and only analytics is what saved that. Well, in fact, their pitching staff was pretty good. They had Zito, Hudson, and Mulder at the top. And they had Aaron Harang, and they had an ex-Philly as their fifth starter. You know who the ex-Philly was, Ray?
Do not.
Corey Lytle
Did not
was
know
their fifth starter. Now, there's also some, they took liberty with a lot of things in the movie, right? First of all, at the climactic scene where Scott Hatteberg hits the home run, did you know, like a pinch hitter is given plenty of advance notice that he's going to be pinch hitting, right? They made it like a little league thing. Like,
Hit your bat.
Hattie, Hatteberg, you hit for Bernsey, right?
He looks shocked.
Right, he had a scurry and like get his.
Where's my helmet?
That's ridiculous. Second of all, when he fired the head scout, Grady Houston, in the corridor, remember? Mm-hmm. He put his hands on him. Well, that never happened. But after that, he goes down. It's so many amusing things. He goes down the hall and he goes, Peters, you ever play ball? And the kid goes, yeah, some intern. He goes, yeah, I played T-ball. He goes, great. You're the new head scout. Like, come on, man.
You're not buying it?
No, there was some stuff that was preposterous. But overall, I loved it. I loved the movie.
It was a great movie.
Like, do you put that in your top 5 of sports movies?
Top 5 sports movies? Probably not in my top 5.
It's not in your top 5?
I don't think it would be.
Really? Well, who would be in your top 5?
Number 1 is Rudy. No, I'm just kidding. I'm only kidding. Trying to get Mike all worked up over here. Well, now, we've talked about this before. Do you consider Rocky a sport movie?
No.
See, I think it is.
No.
I think Rocky is a sports movie.
Yeah, it's more of a sociological movie.
All right, so if we remove Rocky.
Yeah, remove Rocky.
In no particular
pure sport movie.
No particular order. I got The Program up there. Youngblood. You ever see Youngblood with Rob Lowe? One of my favorite movies as a kid, man.
That's you know what I don't have my soundboard up. That's straight garbage.
Come on.
Movie.
Ray, you ever see Youngblood? Patrick Swayze's in it.
Youngblood is straight garbage.
Keanu Reeves is in that movie. He's the goalie. I'm Miss McGill. Come on, man. You're not a Youngblood guy? It's a great movie. Please, if we have anybody who's with me on this Youngblood, send us a text. Give us a call.
It's a horrible movie.
I need
I'll
some
delete the text. Don't worry.
It's not. You can't get past the H's with that movie. It's horrible.
That is a great movie. I can't believe you don't like the movie Youngblood.
All right, go. What else?
Anyway, Youngblood, The Program. Let me think.
You're not going traditional.
Slapshot's up there.
Yeah.
You're not a Slapshot guy?
It's all right.
Yeah. What other sports movies do I like?
You're missing the major ones.
I'm trying to think. Were you a Miracle fan? Did you like the movie Miracle?
Top 5.
Yeah, Miracle was good.
Top 5.
And let me think. Hold on. You're catching me
Even
off
I can
guard.
speak on that one. So Miracle's definitely top 5.
Yeah, Miracle's
You're
in there.
Three major baseball ones.
Well, you love The Natural.
Da, 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 da. Come on, man. There's nothing better than that.
You love The
lights
Natural.
explode. Come on.
I don't know. I'm trying to think what my other top sports movies would be here. Ray, what do you got?
How about Bull Durham?
Yeah, Bull Durham was
I
the
loved
first
Bull
one I was
Durham
going
as
to
a kid.
over there. Bull Durham, Field of Dreams. both
Major
of those.
League.
Yes.
Well, Field of Dreams, I hate.
You hate Field of Dreams.
I hate it.
Now, Major League, I wouldn't put in the top 5.
Schmaltzy crap. Major Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams is good, not in my top 5, but
Natural. Bull Durham.
Bull Durham was.
Miracle, Major League, Moneyball. Good night, everybody.
Baseball guy right here.
He loves baseball.
I do think baseball movies end up making best
work.
for.
They do. They work. Now, I
cinema.
like the program, too, but football movies don't work as well as baseball movies.
Oh, the program was great.
It's just less believable.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think actors don't play as a believable football player as often as they play a believable baseball player.
Yeah. Major League was absolutely ridiculous, but it still was fun to watch.
I still think it's ridiculous that you don't like Youngblood.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. Youngblood may be one of the worst sports movies that was ever created.
Oh my God!
It's not like it wouldn't be in the top 50.
You got Racky. He's the fighter, and then Youngblood has to go and he trains to beat him, and he gets his brother.
Oh my
Bill,
God!
we got
To
Randy
help
from
train.
Artmore here for you.
What does he got?
Bill's top 5 is trash can juice.
Oh, someone on the YouTube chat. Little Giants. Great movie.
All right, I'll help you out here.
Come on.
Little Giants.
We got unnamed texter here. Totally think Youngblood is top 5. And Slapshot, Mikey Miss doesn't like hockey. That's why he says it. I think The Natural sucks. This is from Mark. There
I
we
got
go, Mark.
Miracle in my top 5. I don't like hockey. What are you talking about? Slapshot was all right. It's
I'm telling you, the best hockey movie is Youngblood.
Oh, here we go. Mike from Hatboro. I'm with Bill. Youngblood, easily top 5 sports movie.
It's a great movie, man.
Oh my God.
Oh, here we another
Oh,
one coming in.
please.
Unnamed texter. Great movie, Bill.
I'm telling you, man, it's a great movie. You got to watch it, Ray. I'm going to go home and watch it. I haven't watched it in years.
How about Blue Chips? Blue Chips you got to give Blue Chips a little notice here. Blue Chips is really close to my top 5. I might have to take Major League out and go Blue Chips.
Blue Chips was good.
Blue Chips was solid. How about Any Given Sunday? You like that?
I had a hard time believing Al Pacino as a football coach. Didn't you?
Yeah.
I had a hard time with that. Now, James Caan in the program pulls it off.
You know, Ray, you got to get a sound drop. I meant to ask you this. Now I'll ask it on person because I saw Heat again the other night. And Hank Azaria is getting probed to help them solve the thing, and he's got to play a part in it. And he goes, I should have never got mixed up with that broad. And he goes, you know why you did? Because she got a great ass.
Yeah, what's that from? Is that Any Given Sunday?
It's Heat.
Oh, and Heat.
It's the Heat.
Heat's a great movie.
You gotta get that as a sound drop.
There's a great shootout scene in Heat, man.
Ray, did you hear that from the movie Heat?
Oh, I heard it. Trust me.
Oh, I can't say that on the radio.
No, you can't.
I think you could say
Just lost me for a second.
It's so Pacino-esque.
I didn't think it was
Ralph, sit down. he catches his wife with the woman.
Yeah, see, Pacino in that role.
He's so contrived when he does that kind of stuff.
In that role, he's fine. I don't know. I didn't love him as a football coach. People are checking in, though.
I didn't like him as a football coach either.
YouTube chat, they're throwing out some other sports movies. Remember the Titans?
Love it.
A lot of people
Remember the Titans should be in my top 5, too. I messed that one up. So if I had to... Blue Chips and Remember the Titans have to be in there with Miracle, Moneyball, and The Natural and Bull Durham. That's my revised list. How about Bend It Like Beckham?
No.
Let me tell you a story about Bend It Like Beckham. It came out in 2002. In 2002, I was the morning man on WMMR.
Wow.
We had celebrities come in all the time. We did a audition show. And the guests that came in were the 2 stars of Bend It Like Beckham, one of them being Keira Knightley.
Oh, that was before she was a big star?
Before she did anything.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
Wait, how old was she? Was she a kid then?
She was a teenager. I guess she was a teenager, maybe like 19, maybe. Garinda Chanda it was the other woman, I believe. They had the 2 girls that Bend It Like Beckham. She actually came in, audition. My audition tape.
In 2002, I was a freshman in college, and Ray was in diapers.
I mean, I can't fight the facts.
I'm looking at the top 30 movies of all time. I have yet to see Youngblood. I have yet to see it. It's not appearing.
Because people are wrong.
Hold on a second. Nope. 15 Murder Ball. 14 Hoosier. Oh, Hoosiers. I forgot Hoosiers.
People in the chat are saying Blue Chips was a ripoff of Hoosiers. I don't think it was.
No, it wasn't.
I don't think it was.
Not at all.
Now,
It was like NCAA violations.
I
Had nothing to
forgot.
do with Hoosiers.
I forgot another one of my top 5.
White Man
Loved-
Can't Jump?
Yes, my favorite movie as a kid. Billy, you're so stupid.
That's a sports movie?
It's got to be. A lot of basketball in there. Billy, you're so stupid.
How about Friday Night Lights? No?
Not a huge fan.
We want to go rapid fire takes here on the text line where people are chiming in here. All right, we got someone check it in. Remember the Titans Hoosiers Tin Cup? Tons better than Youngblood. So taking a shot at Youngblood.
I liked Tin Cup.
Tin Cup was awful.
What
it went on
frustrated
for
me-
like 3 hours of nonsense.
What bothered me, though, is how he just blows the U.S. Open at the end, man. I can't stand it.
All right, unnamed texter. Awful movie talking about Youngblood. Longest Yard and then Hardball with Keanu Reeves.
Longest Yard original.
With
Yes.
Burt Reynolds.
Not the Adam Sandler one. Right?
I assume that's what. If we're talking about a good movie, I assume we're going with The Longest Yard.
Yeah, now
original.
Caddyshack's really not a sports movie, is it?
I mean,
Raging
technically.
Bull is not really a sports movie.
No.
Sports comedies versus sports.
Bad News Bears, people like, hey, put Rocky in. I don't put Rocky in the sports movie category. And we forgot the documentary, Hoop Dreams.
Yeah. I saw that that's on Rolling
Ray
Stone. Are
probably
you on
hasn't
Rolling
seen that
Stone's
'cause
top
that
30?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hoop Dreams was rated the number 1. It's not number 1, but it was pretty interesting.
When was the last time you saw Youngblood?
I remember seeing Youngblood saying, this is the worst piece of crap I've ever seen.
Let me see. I want to see
and
what it does.
therefore, I've had no desire to see it again.
So in
It's
my
not
defense,
in this top 30, by the way.
I haven't seen Youngblood since I was very young. But as a kid, it was my favorite.
Oh, well, see, you must have this little Billy thing going on
I
with
do.
Youngblood.
Same thing with White Men Can't Jump. I watched them as kids and loved those movies.
We got someone checking in here, Chris from Bristol, with a movie that I think is one of Andrew Salciunas' favorites. I forget what side of the argument he was on this one, but I'm pretty sure he was a big fan of The Replacements.
Not a bad movie with Keanu Reeves, but anything Keanu Reeves is in, I cringe. Especially Point Break.
You didn't like Point Break?
Where he makes the escape around the end, and he beats Bodie to the end for a touchdown, and Bodie goes, "Wait a minute, I know you. you play for Ohio State. Come on, man."
Did you like Keanu Reeves in The Replacements?
Yeah, that's what I just said. You not listen to me.
You were talking about Point Break.
I segued. I said, "Yeah, Replacement wasn't bad with Keanu Reeves."
But you said you didn't like Point Break. Anyway.
That's how we got to the conversation.
Yeah, Bill fades out every now and then. I
Well,
love it.
somebody reminded me that Peter Zezel was in Youngblood. That's what I was.
He was in Youngblood. Yeah, Peter Zezel.
So
I gotta tell you, there's one sports movie, well, two that I actually had tears for. The Natural makes me cry.
I got to watch The Natural again. You love this movie.
I was dating a girl at the time, and it's on The English Patient, right? I was stoic. I watched The Natural, and tears came to my eyes after the home run explosion. She goes, "What kind of a person are you? It doesn't cry the English Patient, but cries at The Natural."
But yet you don't cry when Youngblood beats Racky at the end after he learns how to fight and amends Patrick Swayze. You don't remember he trips Patrick Swayze? He ends up hitting his head on the ice.
I remember. The movie sucked.
Ridiculous.
The other movie I cried at was Bang the Drum Slowly. Now, this is an oldie. And Robert De Niro was in it way back in the day. And the DA from Law and Order, Michael Moriarty, was
in it.
Yeah, and it'll make you tear. It'll make you cry. I won't give it away because I want you to watch it.
Did you see
Bang the Drum Slowly?
Did you see the board?
What? What board?
The caller.
Oh, Dom in New Jersey's calling about it?
Yeah,
let's get Dom in here. That's insane. Dom, what do you got?
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. I was just going to mention Bang the Drum.
I just mentioned it. I can't believe that we had a call on that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great movie. Great movie.
It's really sad. It's so sad. It grips you, man.
Yeah.
It grips you in a way that. Did you see the movie that? What was it called? The football movie depicting Gale Sayers and his Brian Piccolo. Yeah, James Caan played. Yeah, it was one of James Caan's early roles. Brian's song. Yeah, it was Brian's song. That'll make you cry.
Well, it's a sports movie.
Brian's song got me. Brian's song.
Brian's song is sad.
I love Brian Piccolo.
I love Brian Piccolo.
Oh man, that got me.
Yeah, that was really sad. Sports movies that are interesting but sad, that's right up there. But Bang the Drum Slowly will bring you to like a full cry.
I never saw it.
Oh, it was a 73 movie, so I wouldn't think you would see it. But it's De Niro plays a backup catcher for the Yankees.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Arthur is Michael Moriarty. He's the starting pitcher who took him under his wing.
Bang the Drum Slowly.
Yeah.
We got to make a list.
It actually is a Broadway play also, as well, I think. I think they turned it into a play, and then they made a movie out of it.
A couple people have said this movie on the chat. Cinderella Man.
Very good movie. Very solid movie.
That was a
very good. But again, it adds so many sociological parts into it. It becomes more of a sociological movie. How about I, Tonya, starring Margot Robbie?
Great movie. That was an excellent movie.
It actually wasn't bad.
I loved that movie, man.
Yeah. Well, now, do you like it because it was a good movie or because of Margot Robbie?
I liked it because it was a good movie because Robbie didn't look as good as Tanya Harding as she does in other roles, especially when they show her basically now as Tanya Harding.
How about, you've never seen this one either, The Boxer with one of the greatest actors of all time, Daniel Day-Lewis, in the starring role as an Irish guy.
I think I did see that. You know,
The Boxer.
Another good boxing
former
movie.
IR member returns from jail.
Do you like Diggstown?
No.
Oh, come on, man.
With Lou Gossett?
Yes.
No.
It's a great movie.
Diggstown.
He gives him one of these at the end with the thumbs down.
Come on, man. It's got John on the cell. John, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. John.
Hey, Mike, congratulations. It's really great to have you back on.
Thanks, John. I appreciate that.
So I guess the one I was thinking of, I guess it already been mentioned, Brian's song.
Crier. Oof.
I love that one, that line Billy Deal with.
I wasn't holding my emotions fully back then. I was maybe like a teenager. When
you and I are about the same age.
I wasn't the cynical person that I am now. I wept.
Well, neither am I. It's like, I love Brian Piccolo, you know. But, you know, another one, I guess you'd consider it a sport movie, I think. I mean, it's probably 50s, a great movie. Requiem for a Heavyweight.
That was with Anthony Quinn, right? Yeah, see, I've seen all these old movies because I go back in time a lot. That was a crier also.
Yeah.
And so was the one where, what was the movie with John Voight and Ricky Schroeder?
Oh, The Champ.
The Champ will make you cry.
Yeah,
these are going a little back for me.
Yeah, you got to go back. See, I look at all these movies. I go back in time and watch these kind of movies as well. The Champ, that's another one. I got a top 5 list of movies I cried with. That I wept at that one too. Ricky Schroeder goes, Champ, get up.
I mean, and you know, it's good writing, and you got great actors.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's funny we're going back in time with these movies now. The Champ.
Somebody on YouTube just said, "What's the one where Whoopi Goldberg coached the Knicks?" It's Eddie.
Eddie.
That movie was terrible.
Ridiculous.
That movie was terrible.
How about would you consider a billiards movie?
Cool Hand Luke?
No, it was The Color of Money, but before that, it was The Hustler.
The Hustler.
That was Paul Newman.
That's right. I said Cool Hand Luke. I meant The Hustler.
Yeah, The Color of Money came
Minnesota
back.
Fats.
Yes, The Color of Money came back with Tom Cruise as the hot shot. Paul Newman was in it, but Tom Cruise was the up-and-coming pool player. This is fun. 610-632-0975. We'll get some serious topics in the 1 o'clock hour of the Mike Missanelli Show back after this. Brought
Who's
to you
beating?
by Ferguson HVAC Lion Conklin, the 1 o'clock hour. His attention HVAC contractors for equipment parts and supplies for every heating and cooling job. Visit one of Ferguson's carrier locations in Bensalem, King of Prussia, Pennsauken, or Westchester. I've been loath to bring this up because I don't want to bring any more attention to guys that don't deserve it. But I know a lot of people are reacting to it. And to me, this is like the essence of a hot take. This is the way I feel about these kind of hot takes. If you're just after a hot take, then you're doing a disservice to your audience. You're being dishonest to your audience because there's no substance to a hot take. So I introduce you to the hot take of the day, which comes from Fox's FS1, Nick Wright. Now, I've had Nick on the show back in the day. We made some kind of a bet. I don't even know what it was. I think some audience member would know. He lost a bet to me, and he had to call in and give me a mea culpa.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he lost a bet and had to grow his hair like that.
No, actually, he made the bet when he had short hair. I don't understand when he looks in the mirror what he thinks this long hair thing does for him. I don't know. I'm not kidding. He's got like a Christopher Moltisanti schnozola. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I got a big schnoz, so I got nothing to say. But yeah, his is doesn't make mine look any bigger.
And with the long hair, I'm not so sure that look works. But that's beside the point. He had a hot take saying that the Eagles would not even make the playoffs. Now, there's nothing that's based in any kind of seriousness in a comment like that. And so, like, people pick up on that, and they either get upset if you're an Eagle fan, or they agree with it if you're trying to create your own damn hot take. I don't understand how anybody could say that the Eagles aren't even going to make the playoffs when he has the Dallas Cowboys and the Commanders finishing ahead of the Eagles, which is it's an insult. It is an insult. So I don't know. On one hand, I don't want to give the guy any pub. On the other hand, I want to call out the ridiculousness of a hot take. So I'm in the middle here. I'm in a vice. Hey, Tony Dogs, I got your head in a vice.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to just ignore it because he knows what he's doing. He has everybody in Philadelphia up in arms. Everyone's retweeting the video of him saying it. And it was the definition of a hot take so that people give you clicks. You say something completely outrageous, and hey, maybe he could be right. Maybe there's injuries and something happens and he gets to say he told you so. But either way, he gets all the clicks and all of us talking about him. That's what bothers me.
Yeah, so I'm loath to even bring it up because it's so stupid to me that it's not even worth bringing up. But I know people are reacting all over social media. Eagle fans get really indignant about this. And I always go, why would you give somebody who makes a habit of hot takes any credence? You know, that's what I guess I don't understand. You know, that guy is like the quintessential hot take guy.
Yeah, like why would you even let it bother you? Right? Like that. Yeah, you're right. Eagles fans are bothered by it.
Yeah. So I know if you're bothered by it, then speak on it. I'll give you a chance to speak on it. 610-632-0975. It's going to Malcolm in Maryland. Malcolm, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, Mike.
How are you, man?
Man, I'm doing great. What's up, Mike?
I'm doing good, Malcolm.
Hey, yo, Mike, how come none of y'all favorite sports movies ain't got no brothers in them, huh?
What are you talking about? I love Blue Chips.
Yo, Sunset Park.
What's that?
Sunset Park? Sunset Park with Shorty?
I don't even know what that is. What's Sunset Park? I never.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one,
never
Malcolm.
saw Sunset Park.
That's a violation. Coach Carter?
Coach Carter's a good one.
I love Coach Carter. I'm a big Coach Carter. You know what else I'm a fan of? It's not a sports movie, but it's kind of a sports movie. Above the Rim.
Oh, that was it. Come on, man. Above the Rim is top 5 for sure.
I love Above the Rim. I've always been a big fan. I've always said it on the air, Above the Rim, because Dwayne Martin has some game.
No,
the actor.
for sure.
And Leon had some game. Leon could fire.
Leon had a jumper.
You ever see Above the Rim?
I've seen it, yeah. It's been a while, though.
Yeah.
Sunset Park, I'm looking it up, Malcolm. It's worth watching?
Oh, for sure. For sure. That's a classic.
1996.
You know what you gave me
Retro star from Onyx was Shorty, the point guard.
You know, Malcolm, you gave me the do the right thing line when you first came on.
Yeah. That's another classic.
See, no. But that's the line you gave me. Yo, man, how come you got no brothers in your movie?
Hey, yo, Varsity Blues, though, number one.
Oh, I like. It's another one of my favorites. I watch it every single time.
Yo, that's
let me ask you a question a bit, Malcolm, about Varsity Blues. How could you have that bad of a relationship with your father, where you're gonna smash him in the nose with a fastball?
Yo, bro,
come on, man, you can't. Come on, Mox, you can't be doing that to your pop.
Yeah, come on, Mox. Hating at the cookout.
Yeah.
Yo, how about Tweeter, the best white wide receiver?
You couldn't cover him.
Tweeter.
He was like, what was the guy that for the Rams? He had his game.
It's like Cooper Kupp.
He's Cooper Kupp. And he could do it after drinking all night.
Yeah, he could. I don't want your life. That was the quarterback.
I like when Billy Bob's on the back of the truck with a shotgun. We were just kids, Mox.
Yeah. See, now I'm surprised. I thought Varsity Blues was a little bit dumb.
Oh, Varsity Blues is exceptional.
Like, I liked it when I was in high school.
Here comes my hero as Mox is leading them down the field. They're playing the Foo Fighters. Here comes my hero.
Isn't it Dawson as the quarterback? Right, from Dawson's Creek? Was that? I never watched Dawson's
Mox.
Creek. Yeah.
That's Mox.
I don't know. I liked it in high school. Like the whipped cream scene. I thought that was so cool when I was in high school.
Allie Larder. She's from Cherry Hill. She's from your home.
That's right. She is from Cherry Hill.
That's a classic movie. Now, it's not like these movies are all enjoyable to me. I wouldn't put Varsity Blues in my top 5.
No, just entertaining, I guess.
Yeah. How about this one? He Got Game. Ray Allen, an underrated acting performance.
Yeah, that was a good movie. That was a good movie. There's so many we got to go back and watch. I haven't seen a lot of these in a long time.
Let's go to Dave in Marlton. Dave, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Dave.
Mike, how are you?
What's
man?
up, Davey?
Long time, man. I haven't called since you left.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. How about yourself?
Fantastic.
So I was thinking of one movie. How about The Legend of Bagger Vance?
I liked it. Will Smith was really good in it. I'm not a Matt Damon fan, but I like the movie.
You don't like that?
No, I don't like that.
No. And then did you hear the story about Noel, that he didn't have a singing voice until he got hit in the head with a hammer?
Noel Gallagher?
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't the lead singer, though. Liam was.
Oh, wait, Liam was. I'm sorry. You're right. I got him mixed up.
Yeah.
So Noel was the professional musician.
Yes, he was a professional musician. And he did. When Liam bailed out on them in certain concerts and he didn't show at a lot of concerts.
Yeah, but
Noel would sing lead, and he sounded just like him.
Yeah, before he became the singer, he got into a fight and got hit in the head with a hammer.
Did he really?
And brought his voice to where it was, because he used to beat up his brother's music stuff, and take a dump on his album player, and they
used to brawl in the house. The mother was in this documentary. It's hysterical.
Yeah. Mike, great hearing from you, man. I'm listening to you every day, bud.
I appreciate it, Dave. Thank you very much. That documentary is fun to watch. I love documentaries on rock bands, especially ones that have had checkered paths where they break up and they fight each other. Like, did you see the one on the Eagles? I think that was like a couple-parter. That was on a major pay channel. I forget what it was called. It was a documentary where Glenn Fry, on stage, as they were playing the song, said, at the end of the song, you get your ass kicked. He was saying it to the guitar player, Don, what's his name? I forget what the guitar player's name was. But they were literally, he was going to beat him up on stage as they were doing the concert. And after the concert, this guy got in a limo and got out of there.
This is about the Eagles?
Yes.
I didn't see
the
that
documentary on the Eagles. It's really good.
Well, as you mentioned, the Eagles, got to update the listeners on some Eagles news.
Hey, look at that segue. You see that?
You like that?
He's a talented broadcaster, Ray.
You like that?
He's arrived.
As expected, yesterday in Rappaport reports that all of the sudden, 6th-round rookie Anais Smith has an ankle injury that may need an MRI.
Okay.
And now it's being reported that Anais Smith will start the season on IR, expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks, opens up the door for Paris Campbell to make this roster. Or unless they pick up somebody who gets cut from another team. But now all of a sudden there's an extra wide receiver spot available.
Well, there you go.
Pretty smart by our boy Howie.
Yep. The extra wide receiver is going to go to a nothing, though, unless they he's got his eye on somebody. And Paris Campbell didn't do enough to make the team.
No, but the thing with Paris Campbell is
he's a veteran.
Well, and he has the ability to play outside. I think Jeff McClain may have said this morning.
What's different from him? The guy they got from the Colts 2 years ago, Zacchaeus last year.
Zach Pascal?
Yeah, Zach Pascal.
Well, Pascal
I want somebody different than those type of players.
Pascal, who'd you bring in last year? Alameda Zacchaeus. Those they didn't really have the ability to. God forbid AJ or Devontae gets hurt.
Yeah,
you don't have anyone that can jump outside. Like Anaya Smith's not an outside receiver. You do have that with Jahan Dotson, but you also would have that with Paris Campbell.
Yeah,
that could be the reason they want to keep him. But we'll see what happens. But it is interesting that they work this IR to perfection.
Campbell will be hurt by the time that Smith comes back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the story of his
they'll
career.
Move him around.
Yeah, if he plays.
Okay, I just looked at the history of the Eagles. Would you pay for something that's on like Amazon or Apple, or would you pay?
I paid for a movie last night.
You did? This is History of the Eagles, a 2-part documentary. It's 3
that I wouldn't pay for.
You wouldn't? You don't like the Eagles?
Not enough to pay for a documentary.
Really good story, man.
Not enough to pay for a documentary.
Really?
A 2-part documentary?
$4.19.
I don't like paying for things behind paywalls either.
Hold a second. $4.19. A 2-part History of the Eagles, 3 hours and 6 minutes. You wouldn't pay $4.19 for that?
No, not for the Eagles. Talking about the band, the Eagles.
You don't like the Eagles band?
I do, but not enough to watch a 2-part documentary about them.
Don't bail him out with the band. Just say you don't like the Eagles and see if we can get a good cut of him.
The Eagles have a very interesting story, man. You're shirking it.
The movie I paid for last night was called Oddity. It was a horror movie. You don't like horror movies?
Nah, I'm out. 610-632-0975.
National. You love the National.
Love them.
If I ever can't guess it, that's my default. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I love everything about them. They're two sets of twins in the National. That guy Aaron Dessner is like a genius. He does musical scores. He's like been the brains behind Taylor Swift's last album. Really understated, the National, except for the bluesy lead singer, who doesn't play an instrument,
just sings.
Yes. All right, 610-632-0975. Any more cuts? Any more news on the Eagles now? We're waiting till 4 o'clock, so not much news is going to come out of this.
No, not much news on that, but we haven't talked about the Kelsey brothers.
The Kelsey brothers have signed. I always wondered how these podcasts work, where they can these podcast companies can pay this kind of money. All right, so the news is that the Kelsey brothers have signed a new deal for their podcast for how much?
$100 million.
Jason Kelsey is making more money in the several months he's been out of football than he ever made playing football.
It's wild, isn't it?
It's crazy.
$100 million, man.
He's got his wife producing a Wawa commercial. She's a celeb now. After she was would stay in the background. $100 million. So they're thinking, how do these podcast things work? Now, I did a podcast for Bet Rivers, and this is still going to continue that. It's coming up in September. We're going to do some things. But these major companies that sign $100 million contracts, where are they getting that money?
I don't know. The report says they struck a deal with Amazon's Wondery, and Wondery will have global distribution rights for all audio and video, including the back catalog of episodes. I don't know how. I guess.
Listen, they're hot, man. I don't know what to say. The Kelsey brothers are hot. The Kelsey name is hot. They're taking advantage of it. So I salute to them.
Yeah,
I'm kind of over them. But I know a lot of people, they're like reality stars now.
Well, you got Travis is going to host Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Or no, You're Smarter Than a Celebrity. He's also going to be on a horror show now. There's a new series coming out that he's an actor on.
Mm-hmm.
They're everywhere.
Now, again, if this was Philadelphia, this is like going back to the Jared McLean principle.
Yes.
Now Kansas City, the fan base is probably a little softer. That's why Andy Reid was allowed to survive that.
Not
for many
probably.
years.
Yeah,
definitely. So in Philadelphia, if Travis Kelsey would drop a big pass in a game, Sports Talk Radio would hum the next day.
No doubt about it.
Yes.
People got on Kelsey and Mailata for singing the Christmas album.
Exactly. So he's protected in KC.
Yeah.
All right. Jason in Ardmore joins us. What's up, Jason?
Hey, Mike. How are you, buddy?
What's up, Jason?
Great to hear you again.
Thanks, buddy.
I want to talk about my favorite movie.
Okay.
To start off, All the Right Moves.
Oh, you plugged right into me.
Tom Cruise, right?
All the Right Moves is a classic. Classic movie.
Absolutely, and I'm really looking forward to the Eagles. I think that we're going to have a very good season this year, even though we haven't seen anything in the preseason.
So you're not going to believe Nick Wright that they're not going to make the playoffs. You got to make in the playoffs, right?
Oh, I definitely have them making the playoffs. I think they could be 14-3.
All right. Well, I don't know about that, but 14-3 is a little lofty. So, I don't know.
I like the positivity, though, Jason.
You saw All the Right Moves? That would be right up your alley, man. As a football guy,
it's been a while. I've seen it though. I've seen it. It's just
Tom Cruise played Stefan Djordjevic.
Yeah, you're talking different generations, though. Like for me, I grew up on the program, right? Like All the Right Moves was more in the '80s. So it's a little bit different. I liked the movie, but it didn't hit me like
it was
program.
great because it had the backdrop of the steel town in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
where it was very realistic that way. And at the end, poor Salvucci, the fullback who fumbled away the game at the goal line, and then Craig T. Nelson, the head coach, ripping into him because Salvucci in the locker room afterwards was crying. Yeah, that's right, Salvucci. Have a good cry. You quit, son. and then Tom Cruise stands up and goes, "Wait a minute. Salvucci didn't quit. You quit."
So that's the speech you would have given to the little league pitcher. That would have been Mike's speech for him.
And Craig T. Nelson threw him off the team, and that was the end of his college career until he got, conscience. Yeah, it was a great movie. 610-632-0975. Nick on the cell. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Nick.
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
What's going on, Nick?
Hey, I got a few things to add, man. That Nick Wright, I think he's a clown. I don't waste my breath on clowns, and I know it's a hot take, but I mean, I'd say like on paper, more realistically speaking, I'm not one of these Super Bowl or bust people. I'd say NFC Championships is a little bit more realistic. Obviously, this defense and pass rush, it's up in the air, man. But just wanted to add in that 2 cents, and I got a movie question for you.
Yes, sir.
Mike. I know you're big.
No, first of all, I agree with you on the Eagles. I have to. My eyes have to see if they can get a pass rush. That defines to me their whole defense.
100%. But yeah, I just wanted to add my 2 cents to that, man. And a movie question for
Yes, sir.
you. I know
Go
you're a
ahead.
big movie guy. It's not a sports movie, but so my dad showed me when I was a teenager. He showed me a Bronx Tale. That's one of his favorite movies. One of my favorite movies. Great movie.
Yeah,
for the life.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So for the life of my dad and I, we cannot come up with a modern equivalent door test. And you know the door test, Sonny's door test, not Mario's door test, but Sonny's.
Yeah, there is nothing. There's no that
the Mario test.
Yeah, there's no equivalent to that. You
can't do it anymore.
No, you can't test. There's no test to prove that a woman's going to be loyal to you.
No, the test he's talking about was before power doors.
Right.
You'd lock both doors, let her in, and then hope that she leans over and unlocks the door. You can't do it anymore.
See, I wasn't a buyer of that test.
Like we go so.
The Mario.
You give her my test. That's not the Mario test.
Oh, what's the Mario? Oh,
we can't say the Mario
that's right.
test.
Oh, yeah.
He says to Sonny, you got to give it a test. The Mario test? What are you listening to him for?
Yeah.
Mario's a... we can't say it on the air.
J.O.
Yeah. It's a great line.
Joe and Philly, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Joe.
Yes, hi. Can you hear me okay?
I got you, Joe. Go ahead.
Okay. First, I want to say thank you for taking the call. When I first when I first turned on the radio and I heard you talking about, someone said that we wouldn't make the playoffs. Before I even heard the name, I knew who you were talking about. Okay?
Yeah.
I paid no attention at all to Nick Wright. He's a hater. He's a Philly hater, and we all know it. So I can move on from there.
Yeah, first of all, he's a guy that rubs me the wrong way because he celebrates his fandom. Like, I care that he's a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs. I hate that. I hate the Mike Greenberg, Nick Wright thing. I got to be a fan of my
I didn't
team.
know Wright was a Kansas City guy.
Yeah, he went to the Super Bowl and he was in their rally or something.
Yeah,
he was making a big deal about him being in the rally.
He's corny.
Right, but do you remember when we went to the Super Bowl, every game that we played up until that time, he was hating on us, swearing to God we would lose almost every game.
Maybe that was the bet I made with him. It had to be on the Eagles. Then he called and gave me my due.
I got a favorite movie. Can I share it?
Yeah, sure.
Most people don't know it. It's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. The Program.
Yeah,
we talked about that earlier.
That's one of mine,
Yeah,
Joe.
I asked them,
Yeah.
did they say it already?
Yeah, the program is solid. Yeah, now I didn't buy that loony guy. That steroid freak.
Latimer?
Yeah.
So somebody just tagged me on Twitter. Remember when Latimer gets the starting defense? He's going, starting defense, place at the table. They said that's what I was doing when they told me I was going to be on the Mike Missanelli show. That's what someone tweeted.
How about this? It's not a sports movie, but it has a little sports. This is one of the best bad campy movies of all time. The Last Boy Scout.
Oh, Bruce Willis.
and Damon Wayans.
Yes.
Mike Missanelli show continues. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Sounds exactly like
I really want to know. This is a good, underrated Oasis song. What do you think?
This is a good song.
Hey, babe. How you going, Rose? Sorry. I always sing along with Oasis, man. It's one of those bands you sing along with.
What do you think the chances are that they actually make it through the full tour before they break up?
No, maybe they're mature. I don't know. Maybe they've grown up. They're not Hellraisers anymore. I didn't know this about the program, but the actor that played the steroid freak, Latimer, went to North Penn High School.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
How about that?
Somebody tagged us.
Yes, it was Nino Brown tagged us. You know who Nino Brown is, right? That's a fictitious name for this tweeter because Nino Brown was the Wesley Snipes part in New Jack City.
New Jack. I loved Wesley Snipes when I was young. White Men Can't Jump was a great movie. Passenger 57. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Obviously, all the Blade movies.
New Jack City. He was primo. Like that was at the role of his lifetime.
Demolition Man was the role of his life.
Yeah. And New Jack had Mario Van Peebles in it.
Yeah, I got to watch that one again. It's been a while. But that guy Latimer, that actor, he was in a couple movies. He was in Higher Learning.
Yeah, I don't remember him in Higher Learning.
He's one of the white supremacists in that movie. He's got a shave. He's got a shaved head.
He looks like he would play that good part.
Yeah, they shave his head.
All right, let's go to Blonde Mamba. So, what's up, Blonde Mamba?
Yo, first of all, Mikey Miss, it's Blog Mamba, first of all.
Blonde Mamba. Gotcha.
No, Blog.
What is it? It says on my screen, Blonde Mamba. What are you?
Anyway, listen, welcome back, Mikey Miss. I used to call when you was at the 2 o'clock hour, so it's good to hear from you. But I wanted to touch base, man. I'm going to put this out there. I'm a Cowboys fan, right? And I actually like Nick Wright. But to say that the Eagles are not going to make the playoffs is, that to me, that's worse than a hot take, Mike. And the reason I'm saying that is because when I look at the Eagles, even compared to the Cowboys, I'm not going to say we didn't get worse, but we didn't get better. You guys bought in a top 3 running back in the NFL, and you also have a new offensive coordinator who's proven to have success with the Cowboys, right? And all of a sudden now the Eagles aren't going to be better. You guys aren't going to lose 6-7 straight games again. No,
listen, I don't know how good Dallas is going to be. Maybe Dallas wins 11 games, the Eagles win 10. But don't tell me the Commander. I mean, you're insulting people's intelligence by saying that. That's foolish.
Mike, also too, I actually did the predictions. I got the Cowboys winning 9 games this year. And barely squeaking it in because I don't think the Lions or the Packers are going to be as good as they were last year.
You and Bill think the same thing about that. I don't know, man. I think the Lions are a squad.
Yeah, I just don't think they'll be as good, Mike. Okay. And also, I got a movie for you, yo. Blue Chips.
It's in my top 5. We talked about that a little earlier.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Neon Bedeau. He was unstoppable, man.
Was that Shaq?
Yeah, it was Shaq.
Shaq, don't he?
Yes. Neon Bedeau is killing people. What was the little island in Louisiana where he lived?
I forget. I know what you're talking about. I forget where he lived, but that's where they go to see him play.
Yeah. The street agent was named Slick.
Yeah.
Slick had to take him on a boat.
Wait, so what NBA players? Penny Hardaway was in it.
Penny Hardaway.
And Shaq. Were there any other NBA players in it?
Yeah. Didn't he, the kid from Indiana, play in the NBA?
Ricky? What was his name? Wasn't it
Ricky Rowe?
Ricky Rowe? Yeah,
Ricky Rowe in the movie, but he was, what was his name? He played for Indiana. He might have got a cup of coffee in the NBA.
Yeah, he wanted a tractor with a bag of cash.
Yes, he got the tractor, too, and a bag of cash.
Matt Nover.
Yeah, Matt Nover was a starter for Indiana.
Yeah. That was a good
And who else was on that? Tony was the senior guard and shaved points.
Yeah, but he wasn't a
he wasn't. But he could play. He could hoop.
So my dad just texted me a sports movie.
What?
And this is a good one. Breaking Away.
The bicycle movie.
Yes, that's a good one, though.
Not bad. Not bad. It's not going to get my top 5 attention.
No, I wouldn't put it in my top 5, but a good sports movie.
David and Trenton, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. David.
Hey, Mike.
What's up, Dave?
Hey, glad to have you back. You're the only reason I listen to the show. My question is, I got John Gotti. There was a documentary on him on Netflix.
Yes, I saw it.
There was another one and there was another one on Tubi where John Travolta played Gotti. Did you see both of them?
I did. Yeah, I didn't like the Travolta one. I liked the first one.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
quick question.
That actually was really good. It was on Netflix, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Did Gotti Jr. have something to do with Philadelphia at some point?
Gotti Jr. I don't know. Did he?
I don't know.
I don't know. What made you think
I'll
that?
give you another good movie. Another good movie I like was Invincible.
You liked Invincible? Oof.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
That's an oof for me, bro. Come on. You like that because of the Vince Papale story? Because it wasn't very well done.
No, I like Mark Wahlberg's movies. So.
Oh, you do? Well, all right, give me your top 3 Mark Wahlberg movies. What do you like?
Boogie Nights.
Okay.
Dirk Diggler.
You see Invincible.
Boogie Nights. He showed his schwans in that movie. That's really all he did.
That wasn't really him.
No, it was. It was prosthetic.
Yeah, it wasn't him.
Well, he was supposed to be portraying John Holmes, right?
Well, loosely based. Yeah, it was loosely based.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Invincible?
So, I got a funny Vince Papale story.
Vince is a great guy. The movie wasn't very good.
So I'm a trial lawyer. You know that, 15 years.
Yeah.
I'm picking a jury. The judge calls the next prospective juror. Vince Papale?
Really?
She says. I know who he is instantly.
Yeah.
She has no idea. He comes up, and as jurors, you got to introduce yourself to the courtroom. And he says, I'm a former Philadelphia Eagle. They made a movie about my life. I'm a motivational
going
speaker.
through voir dire here.
Going through voir dire.
All right, now hold a second. Did you immediately excuse him because you knew him?
I did not.
Oh.
So the judge, though, the judge has no idea who he is.
Were you trying to get away with something?
She's rolling her eyes as he's telling us his life story. She has no idea. She thinks he's making it all up. He ends up making it on our jury, Mike.
Wait a second.
I didn't know him personally.
What is your responsibility here?
I didn't know him personally.
Oh, you didn't know him personally?
No.
Okay.
But him on the jury made the opposing counsel was petrified of. We ended up settling the case because he was on the jury.
Really?
Flash forward 2 years. I'm at a Bishop Eustace football game. His son's playing. I didn't know he was going to remember who I was. He comes over to me. He goes, "What'd you settle that case for?" You know I was going with the Italian.
Yeah. How about Bill knowing it's Vince Papale? And there might be a conflict of interest here.
Well, I already had my opening statement prepared.
It says so in the covenants, the ethical covenants that we have to adhere by every day.
But the fact that the judge had no idea who he was. She came in the next day, though, and was like, "I didn't realize he was telling the truth."
The Gotti documentary on Netflix is called Get Gotti. I recommend it. You know, a lot of people aren't interested in the life of a mob boss.
I watched that. It was good.
But it was pretty well done.
With a lot of real tapes and things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rob in Feasterville, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Rob.
What's up, guys?
How you doing?
Tonight's Phillies game, we got Verlander.
Yes.
It looks like he hasn't pitched since June. This is his first game back.
Yes.
What's the line tonight? What are we
interesting.
thinking?
What do you got, Bill?
Phillies are favored big.
They're favored big in this game?
They're minus 150 tonight.
Well, that's a Phillies line against Verlander. They're thinking he's not going to last very long.
He's not. He can't. I mean, do you think a win against him is that's a good thing, right? To just take him out of the game.
Well,
or is he not the force that is he?
Oh, he's certainly not the force he was. I mean, he can crank it up every now and then, but first game back, they're going to keep him on a 60-pitch count, I would think.
Did we get a lineup yet for tonight?
I
did see one.
You did?
Yeah. I'll try to track it down for you.
All right. Other thing too with Kelsey, you brought up Kelsey in the podcast. I have such Kelsey fatigue this summer.
Yeah.
I
agree, and that's the risk you run.
Like I love. Of course, we all love the guy and wish him the best. But every time I turn around, between the argument down the shore and podcast and this. It's like,
but see, he doesn't have to worry about that anymore locally because he's now past local. He's big. He's national now.
You're exactly right.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to worry about whether he's overexposed in Philly.
he's leaving us behind, isn't he?
Well, yeah, and look at him. He just signed a $100 million contract. It's like he belongs to the world now.
So is tonight Phillies is shoebox bet, you think, or not quite shoebox?
I would bet them. I would take the Phillies in this game tonight based on that line.
And then Walker pitching tomorrow. You think tonight? What? I don't. Why is Walker?
If they win tonight, it's shoebox the Astros in Game 3
against Walker. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's okay. Just take 2 out of 3, and throw Walker in there, and just I guess see what he can do, but have somebody lined up, and then the 4 against the Braves. You're in great shape. Everything is looking good.
Yeah.
Do we have a magic number yet?
No. It's funny. In '93, Steve Fredericks and I we did the magic number starting from 110, I think.
Yeah.
Because they had gotten off to such a hot start.
I think I saw Kincade put out his 25.
Where'd you get this line on the Phillies? I see -141.
I'm on FanDuel. It's -148. -148 on FanDuel.
I got -141 on my Bet Rivers app. Plus 148 with the Phillies minus a run and a half. You like that minus a run and a half stuff. Not against a good team, I don't like it.
Oh, you were right yesterday with it.
The Astros, a prohibitive favorite, getting a run and a half at -180. Yesterday I hit on it.
You doing it again?
I may have to at -180. That's kind of a telling line, do you think? Phillies win by a run tonight.
The only thing that scares me with taking the Astros there is Verlander, like you said, is probably not going deep into this game. I think the Phillies are going to put up some runs tonight.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the home run totals. The favorite tonight to hit a home run, he's due, Yordan Alvarez at +220.
What's Harper at?
Harper is at +265, right behind Schwarber at +240.
Harper has an active streak right now of 55 at-bats without a home run.
Really?
He's due, man.
You want to take a flyer on this one? Two guys. Castellanos, +430. Bohm, +500. How you feeling about +500 for Alec?
He showed us he has power.
I think he might launch one tonight.
I'm not buying it.
You're not?
He doesn't try to hit home runs.
I know he doesn't, but he's due for one. What's he have? He's got like 15, doesn't he?
You just brought up.
He and Castellanos are both due.
Well, you just brought up Castellanos.
Mm-hmm.
And Ray sent us an article before the show of him being referred to as Mr. Consistency.
Yes. In the second half, he is.
I'm still not there being able to fully trust this guy, though. I know he's had a great couple of months. I'm still waiting for him to go on that cold streak that we've seen every single season he's been here.
Preaching to a choir here. You know how I feel about Castellanos.
You're with me on this.
Not something that he doesn't.
In 2022,
he doesn't win me over.
2022 in the postseason, he batted 185. That was coming off the month of September where he bat 357. And then last year in the postseason, he has that incredible NLDS. He then disappears and hits 42, a batting average of 42 in the NLCS. I know he's been hitting the ball really well. I just can't come around on him, man. I'm waiting for him to disappoint me.
How do you feel about a stolen base tonight for Trey Turner?
I like that. What's the
plus 380?
Wow, why does Verlander have a good move off of?
He hasn't been stealing. He has been running.
Plus 380.
That's interesting.
That line's going to keep going up and up if he keeps not running.
That's worth a 20 spot for anybody.
Oh,
stolen base. You think?
Yeah. Well, the problem is I'm locked out right now. FanDuel's got something going on with my location that I'm trying to connect with customer service.
You got geolocation problems?
Yeah, I can't make a bet.
I'm all out of money. I put it all in that Harper bet last week.
Race Tap City.
Oh, he had to get a new car battery.
That too.
Lend Ray a couple shekels for the millions you made selling your law practice. So give Ray $20 a bet tonight.
Man, I got kids.
Give him
I already have kids, Ray. I can't adopt two.
Give him a 20. I bet Trey Turner's still a bit.
Hey, real quick, in other news.
Yeah, see, he's
Yeah,
out.
change the topic.
When it comes to money, he's out.
In
All right,
other news, Super Bowl hero for the Kansas City Chiefs, Kadarius Toney, who had that punt return.
Cut.
Yeah,
because they brought back, what's his name?
Juju.
Yeah. Who stinks, by the way.
Yeah, so does Toney.
Schuster stinks. Jerry L checking in. What's up, Jerry L?
Michael, how are you? I take the money on the stolen base tonight.
Trey Turner, I think, is going to steal one tonight.
He was itching last night a little bit.
Yep.
Yes, and I heard you talking about the sports movies. There is no better sports movie any place than Hoosiers. I could watch it every time. Watch Jimmy Chitwood from any place he was. My new favorite guy is Bud the Bull Handler. It's my favorite.
I like. You know, it's funny when I used to do the show with Tyrone. He didn't like Hoosiers because he couldn't understand how that Muttley team could beat a team from South Bend with the powerful brothers they had.
Mikey followed up by The Natural.
Yeah, I agree on both those counts. I liked Hoosiers too, and somehow I forgot to put it on my top 5. But I like it as well.
When I didn't hear that, and The Natural is another one you can watch anytime it's on.
Yeah, I watch The Natural all the time.
Yeah. Just when you start getting disgusted, Kim Basinger comes on and you can go for a while.
Yes, and the crusty manager, he played him perfectly.
Oh yeah. Well, what was it? Wilford Brimley.
You think Reg and I can get a clean drink of water?
And how about your boy? What's it? With Vince Vitale. Again, just your sentiments exactly. Vince Vitale, great guy.
Love him.
That was a hard movie.
I love Vince Vitale, and it was really not good.
Well, is my memory correct? Didn't they get
What?
the Eagles fight song wrong in the movie?
I don't know. Maybe they couldn't have used
Well,
it.
you know, that's Tony Luke Jr. that plays the fan who starts singing, "Fight, Eagles, fight."
Yes.
But that's how they started. They don't start at "Fly, Eagles, fly."
Right, because probably it was a copyright infringement.
Which would surprise me because they had all the copyrights to use the Eagles logos and stuff.
Yeah, but that was when that wasn't really in stock. They hadn't brought that back yet. They didn't bring that Kelly Green Eagle thing back yet. So it wasn't.
Gotcha.
It wasn't an issue.
Yeah, those movies sometimes are a little over the top. Somebody posted in the YouTube chat earlier. Do you remember the Tony Danza movie where he was the garbage picking, field goal
That was
kicking?
a Jeffrey Lurie movie.
Lurie was responsible for that?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
That was Jeffrey Lurie's movie.
Right, did you ever see that movie?
Jeffrey Lurie production.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yes.
That was before he owned the team.
He produced V.I. Warshawski, if you remember that. Kathleen Turner as a private eye.
I don't remember
And that movie, and another one. I forget what the other one was. Anyway, this is a fun show today. I know we didn't talk much substance today, but we had a lot of fun. I hope you had a lot of fun listening to it. Stay tuned for Tyrone. Ricky's off this week, right?
Just these first 2 days.
It was his birthday
Oh,
yesterday.
Ricky's back today?
No, today he's off too.
He's
First
off?
2 days of the week he's
He
out.
took it
He'll be back
for his
tomorrow.
birthday?
I don't know if he took off for his birthday or not.
I think he
but-
was invited out to golf.
I was listening to the broadcast. I said, "They go, how old's Ricky? 60? He's not 60. Ricky's younger than 60.
No, he's younger than 60.
Yeah,
he's younger than 60.
They laid him out there. Crook laid him out.
No,
In the words of
50.
in the words of Mike Missanelli, Google me. He's 55.
55.
I just
Yeah,
Googled
I
him.
was going to say he's mid-50s.
Did you have fun today, Ray?
I did have fun today.
Good, awesome. You have fun, Bill?
I always have fun with you, Mike.
Oh, thanks, man. That's so nice.
Wow.
Of you.
One up on me over there.
Anybody
All
can.
right. I get it. I see how it's going to be. All right, Bill.
Thanks for listening. By the way, the 1 o'clock hour is brought to you by Ferguson HVAC Line Conklin. If you're an HVAC contractor, you get your equipment, parts, and supplies for every heating and cooling job at one of Ferguson's counter locations. They're Mid-Salem, King of Prussia, Pensacola, and Westchester. Have a great night, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow.